Wait, Farooq, I have to ask, like, is it breaking up for you too, or is it just me? Is the audio fine? It's just me then. What the hell? Ugh. How do I fix that? I don't think it's internet. Like, I'm streaming, everything looks good. It's just maybe my Bluetooth connection. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually gonna reconnect my headphones. Like, I'm not gonna listen to you guys for a second. Hold on. Okay. Can you guys say something? Yeah, it's much better. Cool. Let's go live then. You guys ready? Let's go. All right. Hola Madridistas, sorry for, having a blooper moment. I realized my mic was on. But anyways, welcome to the preview for the first El Clasico of the season. After what seems like a few years, it's finally looked like our bitter rivals have a competitive team. And the hype for El Clasico is like very real this time. It's just 3 points separating us in La Liga, and then, winner can actually take the top
Actually,
spot.
it's four.
It's four.
It's actually 4 points. Yeah.
Nothing gets past you, Omar. But yeah, to break the
Hey, man, yeah, man, you gotta do your history. You know what I mean? Like when you every week when you're just looking at the table every single week, seeing where your rivals are and where you're at. So eventually, it's just in the mind.
Yeah, enjoy the
Yeah,
four
man.
points. It's not gonna last for long, but yeah.
Yo, actually, it's 3 point, man.
Actually, it's 3 points.
Oh
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
wrong. Oh, actually, you know why? It's because the last time we played, I think we played before you. So I actually didn't actually take into account that you won your last game against Celta Vigo. Wait, apologies for that. That's on me, guys. Apologies.
It's all good. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we already had minor interactions. But yeah, to break down this matchup on
Mhm.
Saturday, I'm joined today by Omar, a diehard Kole. He has his own YouTube channel. The link is down in the description below. You can check it out later. And of course, my better half for these previous Farouk is also there. But before we actually kick things off, we have a quick word from our sponsors for this episode, Manscaped, who are the pioneers in male grooming. So it's Halloween season, and if you're heading over to some parties, Manscaped just might be the website that you need to, look your very best. So head on over to manscaped.com and use code LPR20 for 20% off and free shipping. And it's a great way to support us if you like our content. So yeah, smash the likes and subscribe, do all of that cool stuff. But yeah, man, Omar, you can kick things off. Tell us, how you became a Barcelona fan, such a diehard Barcelona fan that you actually started your own YouTube channel.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I've been supporting this club since I was like 10 years old, like around 8 to 10 years old. Um, when I got into football at a very young age, I was lucky to see some of the best players probably for both of our clubs, right? Because when I started watching football, this was around the end of the first Galactico, so I got a chance to see players like R9, like Zidane, players like that from Madrid. And the reason for me I became a Barca fan is because of Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho he was just something else. Like he was one of those players. Unless you were a rival, you just loved him. And even as rivals, right, you could not hate the guy. Like the guy he made football look beautiful. And growing up in my country, seeing being from a country where football is not number one here, it's not even in the top three. Like to see what Ronaldinho was doing it was like love at first sight for me, because like when I just saw him, like it was like he was one of those players who you never really needed. It wasn't always about winning games for me growing up. It was more of, was I going to be entertained? Because I always knew I was going to be entertained watching him. I always knew this guy. You never had a dull moment when you watched him at Barcelona, and you know, I remember there was a lot of moments. For me, winning the Champions League in '06 was kind of the moment that it cemented for me that I was a Barcelona fan for life. So, yeah, ever since then, obviously, you know, I was lucky to see the teams that I saw after that. The team from '08 to 2012, the Guardiola team. I got to see MSN. I got to see the highs and the lows. So, yeah, that's how I became a Barcelona fan. That's why I'm still a fan to this day.
Awesome. And let's actually, get seriously into things, And Farouk, both teams are coming off of wins from German sides. Let's go with our win first, right? It didn't for Barcelona. It seemed like it was a long time coming. These guys were absolutely looking for it, looking for revenge against Bayern, and they played really well. But for us, it didn't really turn out that way, right? It was a mixed game. What are your takeaways from that? Are you confident heading into this Clasico?
I mean, this is the thing. Like Real Madrid players, they live up for the big occasions, for the big moments. They always find a way to, to scrape through. And if there's anything we've learned from this team this year, it's that they would be shitty, but they will still find a way to win. So if there's anything for that, so like because of that, like I'm not like short of confidence. I do think we would go. Yeah, like Barcelona might dominate us, in our house, but I do still feel like it's there. But this is just like a pressing issue because I think Omar hit the nail on the head. Like similarly for me when we started watching football, it wasn't about the fact that you're gonna win or lose. It's about the fact that okay, this is an entertainment. The same way I listen to music and enjoy it, the same way I watch a movie and have fun or read a book and or chat with my friends. The same way excitement is being generated is what you watch football, and this was what Real Madrid was all about. Like honestly, at least in my opinion, this was what I used to see. I mean, even with Mourinho, Zidane's first time, Ancelotti's first time, like these players were very interesting and exciting players and exciting team as a whole. But for now, it's like I don't remember. I think it was Ashik who was saying the other time that just send me an email of what the game is going to look like. I don't even need to watch the game. Just send me an email, tell me the score. This is the person who scored, and there's no need to waste my 2 hours. Like this is just what it is. You look at the game against Borussia Dortmund, and I'm sorry, but like it's fucking Borussia Dortmund, bro. Like I'm not playing Harry Kane and Bayern Munich. I'm not playing Lewandowski and Barcelona. I'm not playing Haaland and Man City, bro. It's quite shambolic how literally, yeah, the first half flattered us, and then all of a sudden, our players, came into their own and did this stuff. And that's the thing, like I've always said this, like I believe that our players will live up to the big moments. But is the coaching staff able to live up to the big moments? I don't know. But I do know that the players will turn it up, will find the gear. And that's the thing we've seen with Vinicius Jr. right now is that he's a clutch player. Come at the time, come at the man, he delivers. He's there. He scored. Okay, yeah. I think the second goal was no, the first goal was a bit what it is, but like he scored two phenomenal goals like that. Will be in the contention for goal of the month or maybe even goal of the season. So this is just what it is. Like you have players, world class players in a world class team, but unfortunately we have dinosaurs on the bench. So that's the only, in my opinion, like that's one of the primary reasons why we're facing this problem continuously. They just can't find a solution to the problem that they have known for almost 6 months right now.
Yeah, a lot of problems still to be solved with this team, but we go off in high spirits, with the confidence that Vinny, Mbappe. I don't know if Mbappe looks really good, but Vinny looks really good. Valverde and Bellingham are pulling a shift. These individual players are just trying to pull things through for us, even though things aren't like really working out. But yeah, man, I'll come to you,
Yeah, yeah.
Omar. How did that win feel against Bayern? It was a long time coming. Were you in tears at the end of the match?
You know, yesterday, yesterday was my birthday yesterday, right?
Oh
And
wow,
I
happy
was
birthday!
Oh.
yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, this could either be a great birthday because we would finally beat Bayern, or it could be the worst birthday because we're going to lose to Bayern again. Um, Honestly, I could not wish for any much better, man. We didn't just win; we absolutely battered them, and we needed that. As a Barcelona fan, you know, it's just one of those where you just it feels good because at the end of the day, we are a big club, and our record against these guys is ridiculously bad. Like, it's not just awful; it's just we just get battered, and it's it never really felt good. So to be the ones to actually do the battering for once, actually, it made it felt much better. And listen, if you saw my reaction, you would see it, bro. Like, at the end of the day, I was losing my head. I don't usually like. I'm a very very calm, cool and collected guy when we score, and I usually celebrate, but I'm very calm. But yesterday, man, it was different. Like yesterday, every goal when we scored, I was just like, I went nuts because at the end of the day, it's like because at the end of the day, it felt so good to finally get that monkey off our back. You understand what I'm saying, right? And at the end of the day, like, fair play to the players, fair play to the manager. We we've had our problems this season from the beginning of the season. We had injuries all over our team. We did not we were not active in the transfer window, and we needed to deal with so many problems in the team. But our manager has come in, arrived, and he's just dealt with what he has. And not only has he dealt with it, he's overachieved so far. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, no one before the beginning of the season was looking at Barcelona this season saying, yeah, this team could do anything. Like, people thought it was guaranteed that Madrid were going to win the league, especially buying Mbappe this season. I mean, I'm not going to lie, even some Barcelona fans will even admit this. But I was always one of these people where I'm like, the one thing about Madrid is, and this is me growing up watching Madrid, is that when Madrid, the best version of Madrid is not the Madrid that always go and get the superstars everywhere. The Madrid team that is scary is the one that buys the players that they need, and they to fill the areas that they need to fill, and then they will get better. The example I could use is when when in the early 2000s you guys won like two Champions Leagues in 98 and 2000, right?
Yep.
Florentino Perez came in and then he bought Luis Figo from Barcelona, obviously. He bought Zidane, he bought R9. He was basically buying all the superstars. Basically, he wanted to build a superpower team. However, by building that superpower team, he was basically ignoring the glaring problems in the team, which was at the time your defense. You guys needed defenders, but he kept on buying attackers instead of actually focusing on looking for world class defenders to go and fix the defensive problems, right? And because of that, Galacticos did not reach the level that many people expected them to be. I always say this: the Galacticos were supposed to be what Barcelona were in the 2010s. You know, in the 2010s when Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, how we dominated football. That was what that was what Florentino was trying to build when he built that Galacticos. He wanted to build that kind of team. However, his idea of building it was buy superstars just for the sake of buying them for a long time. And even he admitted when he resigned and came back that yes, he did make a lot of mistakes. He was buying players for the sake of buying instead of buying players in the areas that the team needed, right? That's why his second reign, he barely made any mistakes because he always knew which when to go and buy that superstar at what time, at what point, right? Not buying the superstar and just putting him on the bench. Like, I look at the fact that you guys bought Mbappe, and I was saying on paper, this is dangerous. Vinny, Mbappe, Bellingham, Rodrigo, that sounds good. However, we have to call it out for what it is. This Madrid team is already good as they are now. The problem with buying a player like Mbappe is it can either be great, it can make you better, or it can make you worse. You understand what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that Mbappe is going to flop. However, we will all admit, and even as you Madrid fans will admit, Mbappe hasn't reached the level that you guys expected from him so far, right? I'm gonna be very honest, from a guy who's just watching, I have not been worried about Mbappe. If I'm looking at your team, Vinicius is the guy who's been worrying me since the beginning of the season. Valverde in that midfield has been, for me, he's been Real Madrid's best player. I know he doesn't get the goals, he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, but I always say, I've said this for years, he's the most underrated player in that Madrid team because that guy never has a bad game for your club, even when you lose. You understand what I'm saying? Every time I watch that guy play, he's given an 8 out of 10. Worst case scenario, right? And Bellingham, for me, I know you guys have been. I've been watching Bellingham this season. I don't think he's playing as good as he was last season. I don't think we've seen that version of Bellingham yet, right? And I know he's had his injuries, he's had his issues, right? And listen, at the end of the day, I'm not going to sleep on these players. However, I've always said this about Bellingham, which is that from my analysis of watching him last season, right? The biggest thing that Bellingham was good about Bellingham last season is that he was a clutch player. He was the player who was always getting the goals when you needed it, right? But I always said, for me, watching him all around, his all round game, he goes missing, but he's always there when you need him, right? And if he loses that, then he's going to become a dead weight into the team. If he doesn't score or assist, he will be the dead weight. And this season, unfortunately, he's not getting the goals, right? So at the end of the day, he's not doing as well as he was last season, because last season the difference is his goals was elevating his performances. Right now, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Right, you can give me the reasons. Like I said, I believe that he has had injuries and maybe he just needs to
And
get back to fitness.
yeah, it's not just giving reasons. Like I feel like Bellingham is. I know Farouk feels the same way too. He's just playing the role that he's always meant to. He doesn't need to score goals or like this. Just looking at this team, I know he's the one who's covering up those plays, those empty spaces that where there's no many. He's just basically last man. Helping out our defense at many points in the game, and he's basically our transition defense along with Fede Valverde, and he is playing absolutely the role that Carlo wants him to do, that the team needs at this moment. So because we have the players now to actually score the goals, and it's not that Mbappe is not scoring goals. He is. He just needs a bit more time to get those
His
combination plays
performances have
together.
been poor. Let's call it for what it is, right? Mbappe's performances, not even his goals. Because yes, if you look at his numbers, you can say, yeah, he's been getting good numbers so far. However, if you watch him, this guy barely, like, he's not instilling fear as you expected him to instill fear whenever he has the ball. You
Really?
understand what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna be very honest with you.
Okay. No, no, no.
Vinicius,
Listen, like
Vinicius for
you
me,
guys play the high
yeah,
line, right? And then imagine a ball
and that's
gets
the
played
thing.
through.
And
Are
that's
you
not,
not going
and
to be
that's the thing.
scared of Mbappe? Come on.
That's the thing. I'm about to get to it. Trust me, because I'll get to the preview of the game. So, because even though I'm saying this, let me be clear. Everything I'm saying about Mbappe is what I've seen so far. I'm not saying that this guy still is not dangerous enough to still dunk on my team, right? I'll get to that. But let me say this: this season so far, if you watch Real Madrid's attack, in the beginning of the season, Vinicius didn't exactly start the season. First 3 games, 4 games, he wasn't really performing that well. For me, it was Atagula who was actually doing well alongside Brahim Diaz, right? When they got injured, we started to see Vinicius slowly coming back to his form. And the thing with Vinicius is the danger man in that team. It's not just his goals that make him dangerous, it's his style of play. It's his going to the box, right? When he has the ball, he's trying to do something. And that's the thing that's the difference between him, for me, him and Mbappe. Because with Mbappe, even though yes, he can score the goals, sometimes I'm looking at him and I'm like, I'm watching him from just watching him. I'm like, I don't see the same guy that I saw at PSG yet. I haven't still seen that guy yet, right?
Yeah,
You're not
that's
you're
fair.
not instilling. I'm not seeing that fear factor that I see in Vinicius whenever I see Vinicius have the ball. When I see Vinicius have the ball, I'm like, oh no, something is gonna happen. He's gonna do something. He's gonna be a menace. He's either gonna get a foul. He's either gonna get. He's gonna either score or get an assist. Right now, I will say this: Kylian Mbappe, the way we're playing as Barcelona, our high line, he could literally have a field day.
Omar, before
And
before we get to the before we get into the game, before we get into it, I just want to lay some things out,
go
for
ahead, go
this.
ahead.
So you talk about Jude Bellingham, and you say about the fact that like he comes up clutch. Fantastic. Last season he was clutch. Jacob knows how
Yeah.
I felt about last season in goal scoring.
Mm.
But if you have seen Jude Bellingham before he joined Real Madrid last season and started to play as a false nine, you know that what he's offering to the team now is
Mhm.
the reason we paid 100 million for Jude
I
Bellingham.
think so. No, don't get it twisted.
And
I agree with that. I completely
and
agree. Because I'll be honest with you, I did not expect him to score as much goals as he did last season. I don't think anyone did. Let's be real.
of
I
course,
know you guys spend a
definitely.
lot of money. I know you guys spend a lot of money on him, but let's be real. You signed him to be a midfielder. You understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying? The
true,
fact that he
true,
scored the goals that
true.
he scored, I think Even me, as much as I'm sitting here saying he was clutch, yes, he was clutch because I'm gonna be real. I didn't expect him to be the clutch player of that Madrid team, but he was the clutch player of that team. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's the important thing. Like, sometimes we get lost. For instance, why is a player like Rodri not getting the recognition that he obviously deserves? But the problem is that we get lost in the numbers of goals and assists.
Mm-hmm.
When you say Jude Bellingham gets lost in the game, this is where I would totally disagree with you. Even in the early days of the season, I think in the first game we drew, and then we had like a lot of bad games here and there. Like, you could never fault Jude Bellingham in those games. There were lots of problems with the team, but Jude wasn't one of them. And I love the fact that you started by highlighting the fact that, like, Fede Valverde, in your opinion, has been the best player that we have in the team, and he's underrated. I totally agree with that. But it will be unfair to highlight Fede Valverde as the best player in the team and then label Jude as being going missing. I think these are two different. These are things that definitely, like, I know Jacob has highlighted as well. We have three attackers that do not defend. We have three attackers that do not defend. So basically, Jude Bellingham and Fede Valverde are holding down what is basically a broken dam. Basically, the wall is broken. They're just holding it down with flex tape. So this is the point. Like, I think it's unfair to say, like, okay, Jude gets missing. Okay, I don't know how much you watch Real Madrid or not.
No, I
But, like,
do
of course,
watch a lot of Madrid games, to be fair.
Jude doesn't go. Jude is no longer. His role has changed. He's not playing the role that was last year anymore. And also now the team is changed because, like, there is no longer Tony Cruz. So, like, Jude has a different role in the team. There's a new interpretation of what he has to do for the team. So I think, like, saying that just minimizes the fact that, okay, there is no goals and there is no assist. Hence, this is what's happening. For the second issue about Kylian Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe joined Real Madrid not as the best player in the world. Vinicius Junior was the best player in the world when Kylian Mbappe joined Real Madrid. I'm sorry, with all due respect, like, I don't want to, like, be like I'm minimizing someone. It's not like he's joining a team with Rafinha. No, he's joining a team with a Ballon d'Or. So, like, I never expected Kylian Mbappe to come and voila, all of a sudden you saw.
See, I think that's where your expectation is different from other people's expectations. I want you to understand. Maybe for you,
Ballon d'Or. I'm telling you, Vinicius.
no, I understand this. I understand this. See, let me explain something to you. If Vinicius was ever to leave Madrid and go anywhere, right, the expectations would be on him. I want you to understand, Kylian Mbappe, whether he's won the Ballon d'Or yet or not, this guy is world class or has been labeled as world class. This move to Madrid has been in the works for years. You understand what I'm saying, right? It's kind of like when you guys signed Cristiano Ronaldo. It was always one of those where you knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen. You understand what I'm saying,
okay,
right?
Omar.
And Kylian, let me just land. Kylian Mbappe, right, may not be a Ballon d'Or winner, but in the eyes of everyone who watches football, we know that Kylian Mbappe is considered as world class, right? He is in the class of his own. He's in a class of his own alongside Vinny, Haaland, and all of those players. You understand what I'm saying? So you signing for Real Madrid. So, and I want you to always remember this, and I always say this to people who don't get it, right? I'm sure as a Madrid fan, you know this. Signing for Madrid is different. When you sign for Madrid, you're expected to come in and perform. It's not a matter of this and this and this. No, if you are a player of high profile and you join Madrid, the pressure is on because this is where now legends, this is where people turn into the greatest. If you want to see why so many like, think about it, some of the best players who've ever succeeded at Madrid are considered greats of football. There's a reason for that because at the end of the day, it's pressure playing for the white shirt. And the same thing applies for my club as well, right? When people come to my club, I expect you to either succeed or you fail. And if you fail, you leave. It is what it is. I don't have any patience for anything because at the end of the day, this is the club. The stature of the club states that you have to come in and do your job. Now, Kylian Mbappe, for years, has always been touted as the next big thing. Now, he's at Real Madrid. This is now where you have to show everyone that this is why I am gonna be the next big thing or why I am the big thing in football, right? Vinicius is gonna win the Ballon d'Or. We all know that. And Vinicius, you're right, is the best player in the world. However, right? It's the same thing when Messi was the best player in the world and Ronaldo was the best player in the world and all these players were the best player in the world. Yeah, they might have been the best player in the world, but there were, if any players signed who were just as good or somewhere near as good as them, you would always look at them and say, all right, let's see what you do. It's just like when we signed Suarez. Suarez was the best striker in the world, but was he the best player in the world? No. Messi was, or Ronaldo was, right? But Suarez was that good that when he signed for Barcelona, everyone was looking at them and saying, all right, let's see what you do now, right? We expect goals. We expect a lot of goals. We expect you to do your job. If he had flopped, if he had scored less than 15 goals, everyone would have said, yeah, he flopped. Even though 15 goals is crazy amount for certain footballers, for someone like Suarez level, you expect more. And the same thing with Mbappe. Mbappe is considered one of the best players in the world. So you are now at Madrid, step up. Step
But
up.
that's the thing, like that's the thing. Like, I mean, okay, let's break down what you mentioned. You
Okay.
talked about the fact that how Ronaldo signed for Real Madrid.
Mm.
What you have to understand is that one thing that adds to the legend of Cristiano Ronaldo is that he joined Real Madrid in the banter era. He literally left Man U back-to-back UCL finals for a team that had gone 8 seasons being knocked out in the round of 16. Ronaldo came in and he literally moved the Real Madrid from the banter era to winning the three-peat. So Real Madrid, as big as an institution as we were, we needed Ronaldo at that point in time. Now, come to 2023 summer, or rather 2024 summer, Kylian Mbappe is joining a team that has a Ballon d'Or, the best player in the world, off of the back of a Champions League win. He's not
Right.
joining this team to be needed by this team. He's joining this team as a complementary piece.
I
This is just
understand
the
that.
truth. So any
Mhm.
saying, okay, of course, like we have clickbaits and internet sensation. That's why I don't love Twitter and I don't use social media. We have all these things. But
Mm.
any sane football fan knows that
Mm.
Kylian Mbappe joined Real Madrid as a complementary piece because he needed Real Madrid more than we needed him. Of course, Kylian Mbappe has the
And that's
potential.
and I agree with that. But let's be real here. And Jacob, you are also an attestment to this. When Kylian Mbappe signed for Real Madrid, did you see what everyone else in the world was saying about Madrid?
Yeah.
Oh, they've got Vinny, they've got Rodrigo, and now they have Mbappe. Because I want you to understand, right? Yes, you guys were already doing well. Now you've gone from winning the league and the Champions League to now you've now added one of, if not the best player in the world, alongside Vinny, to your club. So now everyone is looking at you and now saying, "Oh my days, this Madrid team is gonna be."
Omar, you can't take this as an isolated incident. You have to understand that,
Mm.
okay, this is a team that has lost a lot of key components as well. Whether you like it or not, like Tony Cruz is,
Yeah, Tony Cruz
in
is
my Tony
important,
Cruz was
absolutely.
the best midfielder in the world last year. I don't
Yeah,
care
he
what Man
was.
City fans says with Rodri or not. Tony Cruz was the best midfielder in the world last year. You remove him out of the team, a team
Mhm.
that plays in transition. How do you make transitions happen? You throw the diagonal to over the back line and your players catch the ball. Now there is no one to make those transitions. Two, you have to understand as well that Kylian Mbappe, there is a reason why Kylian Mbappe has performed better for France than for PSG. Because
I
with
mean,
France,
he's
he
not
played
even
with a
performing
center
for
forward.
France. Let's be
I'm sorry?
you know what? I don't want to. I know I keep interrupting. Sorry, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But let me tell you something about Kylian, Jacob, and Farouk.
Sure.
People who've been watching Mbappe for a while now will admit, whether you're a Madrid fan or non-Madrid fan, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Mbappe has been in poor form since the back end of last season for PSG. This guy, yeah, even that game against us when they knocked us out of the Champions League, he was poor. He scored 2 goals, but he was still one of the worst players on the pitch. I watched that full game, right? In the Euros, he was absolutely dreadful. One of the worst players in that Euros. He didn't do anything for France in that Euros, right? So Mbappe's form has actually been going on now for months now. And the funny thing is, people who have been watching already have been seeing this. And this is why I was saying when he signed, I was like, listen, this is a scary move, but Mbappe's form, he's gonna need time. And the problem is, are Madrid fans gonna give him the time? Because we know Madrid fans are very impatient. Let's be real. Like your fans are impatient. Look at your fans how they reacted to the to that end of that first half. They were booing those players out of the building, right? I remember when you guys played in the league against Valladolid. You were 0-0 at halftime. The fans started booing. They, at the end of the day, you as Madrid fans, yes, you can say Mbappe, yes, he needs time and this and this. Maybe you are willing to give him time, but are the rest of the Madrid fans out there gonna give him time? Because I've spoken to a lot of different Madrid fans, right? And a lot of them are saying he needs to step up. he needs to step up because now you're now at Madrid now. There's a different kind of pressure when you're here. And if you don't do it here, people we are going to be looking at you now, and everyone in the world is looking at you, and even non-Madrid fans are even looking at Mbappe now and saying, "Yo, what's going on with Mbappe?
Yeah, what's
Why
going?
is he not?"
Omar,
Mm,
I get where you're coming from, right? We all expected him to like immediately hit the ground running, combine with Vinny, combine with Rodrigo, and then form the best attack in the world. And that hasn't really
yes.
happened. But we've seen the signs, we've seen the flashes of brilliance that Mbappe can bring, and it's about expectations, right? We have absolutely good expectations for, at least for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, that he's gonna finish as a top scorer in La Liga. He's gonna win us a few titles. I know that for a fact. Just looking at his play, he might not be in top form right now because he's still figuring out his role. The team as a whole is figuring out his role. But when that clicks, he's gonna be the best in the world, right up there with Winnie.
And exactly again, you go there. You talk about
Mm,
flashes, Jacob. I just want to highlight like we saw the game against Borussia Dortmund. Kylian Mbappe did not score, but let's not forget who made the cross
Yep, totally good.
for the first, which was the catalyst, and that was no ordinary cross.
Yep.
mm,
He literally the drop of the shoulder, beating the defender and whipping in a wicked cross into an unmarked zone. You understand? Of course,
mm-hmm.
I like Omar. Like I'm not like denying all what you're saying. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just trying to say like there is a series of things. It's this is not the Eden Hazard transfer where like he had to come into the team and if it doesn't work, it's a bust. I'm just saying
Mm-hmm.
like there is a series of how can I say like failure checks and plans, I will say,
Mm-hmm.
that we know that, okay, Kylian Mbappe comes, he needs to learn this role of playing a center striker because we know he has said this many times that he doesn't want to play centrally. He has to learn how to play this. We know this. And we know that we had the safety valves in Vinicius Jr. being the best player in the world. So even if Kylian Mbappe was taking time to settle or not,
Mm-hmm.
everything is fair, is good to go. I agree with you that, okay, he like Kylian Mbappe is touted as the next big thing after Messi and Cristiano and he
Yeah.
has not lived up to that hype yet. I totally understand that there's a disappointment in that. But
Right.
also the point I'm trying to make is that from a Real Madrid perspective right now, yeah, Kylian Mbappe is this, Kylian Mbappe is that. But from a Real Madrid team perspective right now, we're seeing those flashes that, okay, Kylian Mbappe will get to a point in time. Let's not forget, this is the first time Kylian Mbappe is at a real club since he left Monaco. He was playing at Paris. He was playing in Paris, bro. At PSG, bro, that's not a club, bro. With all due respect to all the Paris Saint-Germain fans, if they,
I
if they
mean,
can
I
that.
And
mean, but see,
Farooq,
this is
like
what.
just to add, like right, the last 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
his poor form has been poor with PSG. But let's say you join, you're at a company, and then you're about to leave. You know that for the whole year, are you gonna be putting in your 110%? Are you gonna be the same player that you were when you immediately signed for the club? No. All those things do count. So I'm like not worried about Mbappe at all.
But okay, so I would hear that, but also he was poor in the Euros as well. It wasn't just he was poor
Bro,
for
but
Paris.
that's the thing. Like, it's a different game, man. I think it's 12 or 13 games
But
into
that's
the
the
Real
thing.
Madrid
One
season.
thing about Mbappe is you can talk about his form at PSG, but one thing that was always given to Mbappe was he was always standing up for France. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
true,
But
true.
for me, his performances in the Euros kind of told me that this is not just a PSG problem at this point. You are in poor form and you need to figure it out. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that the Mbappe move is gonna be a bust. I'm not one of those people. There's some people who are saying what they're saying. I'm not one of those people. Listen, I'm not dumb. I've been watching football way too long. I know that eventually, even if it doesn't reach the level that it could potentially reach, if it even reaches half of that, it's still gonna be worrying for everyone. You understand what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah, yeah,
And at the end of the day, you are right. Losing Tony Cruz this last season, not having Tony Cruz this season, huge loss. I absolutely agree with that. Right now, here's where when it comes down to it, this is where I kind of look at it. Right, where do you believe that maybe because this is also the problem with Vinny? Sorry, Mbappe is. Yeah, you say that he's not a striker, but then again, where would you say his best position is? Is it out wide? Because if it's out wide, he's on the left. That's where Vinny plays. So he
yeah.
can't play down there. So he has to make it work in the attack, or else what are they gonna do then? What are they gonna do at that point? You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I've already said this from the beginning of the season, where I said, because just like you mentioned about how Cristiano, what point Cristiano was signing and what point Mbappe was signing, I've said this before. The reason why there's pressure on Mbappe, and this is where I'm putting pressure on Mbappe, is that you just mentioned it. He's joining a winning team. You're joining a team that's just won the Champions League and the league, right? You're not joining a team that is in trouble and they need you to save them, right? you have to come in. You as Mbappe have to come in, and you have to show why you deserve to be in that team. You understand what I'm saying? And I've always said this: Barcelona and Real Madrid is different from any other club in the world. In certain football clubs, a player can be bigger than a club. But for Barca and Madrid, no player has ever been bigger no player has ever been bigger than Madrid. So at the end of the day, maybe some Madrid fans might be willing to give patience to Kylian, but I want you to understand, for Kylian himself, he needs to learn. He needs to quickly find whatever it is that he's missing in the team. Because, like I said, he's joining a winning team, and if the team don't win as much as they won last season, he's gonna be the one that everyone's gonna be looking at. I want you to understand that, Farouk. Football is a fickle game,
I
right?
agree with you. I said this as well in our preseason.
Yes, if we win the league this season, and you guys don't win the Champions League, I'm not saying they're gonna win him out. Obviously not. But they're going to be looking at Mbappe's first season and saying, "Listen, you joined. We were good before you got here, but we have now taken a step backwards since you arrived. So you need to show us what you can do." So there'll be more pressure on him next season. You understand what I'm saying? So next season, the pressure will really be hard on him, because now they'll be like, "Okay, well, that was your first season. We didn't do well. So this season, you have to be our best player. You have to surpass Vinny this season, because you're the reason. Because at the end of the day, last season, when we had that team that we had last season, when we had Hustle as the striker, we won the Champions League. He scored in the semifinals, right? So, look, at the end of the day, I'm saying all these things about Mbappe, but I'm well aware of what Mbappe can do. And listen, at the end of the day, he can come in against us on Saturday and absolutely dunk on us. And I am willing to admit that. Like, I'm not one of these people where I'm like, oh, I'm saying all these things I'm saying about Mbappe, and then next minute I'm saying that he's not going to do anything against us. He could literally be the reason why you guys win this weekend. He could literally show a performance against us. It's not out of the realms of possibility. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm looking at our team, my team this season, and you look at what is really scary about us is that we have not even reached our full potential yet. Anyone who's been watching Barca, especially you guys who are La Liga fans, you guys know we were playing Marc Bernal, Marc Casado, Fermin Lopez, flipping Kubashi, Inigo Martinez, right? Jules Koundé are right back, right? We've been playing like these are the players we've been playing in the beginning of this season, right? And so far, we've only lost one game in the league against Osasuna. But in that time, we've beaten Real Valladolid 7-0. We've beaten Girona 5-1. We just beat Sevilla 5-1 in our last game. We already scored like 44 goals in the middle of October. 44. Like, if you
Have
really
you guys
deep it,
really been tested by a strong team in La Liga? I don't think so. I know you
What's
guys.
that?
You guys have been freely scoring, but it's not against like top sides, right? You haven't faced the likes of the top clubs yet.
But if you think about it, right? We played Girona, who, even though we beat them 5-1, they have actually
Dude,
been doing well
Girona's
so
a
far
joke
this season.
this season. Come on.
No, they're not compared to last season. They are a joke this season. I think we also need to remember not to compare them to what they were last season. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I look at what they did last season as just one of those rare things that happens in football. It's like when Malaga went to the Champions League in 2013, right? And they never returned. You remember when Athletic Bilbao finished top
Agreed,
4
man.
a
Yeah,
season.
Barcelona have had a great start of the season. Like I have no
But
complaints
also,
there.
I
But
could.
the same goes for us. I mean, we've been having injuries after injuries. We've been playing second string teams for a long time now, and then that
But
goes
wait,
to
what games? Because I've been watching you guys this season. I
dude.
mean, listen,
The whole midfield
Carvajal's
was
just suffered ACL injury before the international break, and good. Hopefully, he returns back to his best. But at the end of the day, Vinicius hasn't really had any long-term injuries. Maybe he's been injured for maybe a week or two, and then he'll be back. Right? For me, the only big injury I look at in your team for me so far has probably been Bellingham. I know Alaba hasn't played so far this season, but without Alaba, you guys still have Militao and Rudiger, who are still a good partnership, one of the best partnerships, right? right? At the end of the day, Carvajal just suffered an injury now, which is not a good thing. And I also heard that you guys have lost Rodrigo. So yes, you guys are having injuries now, but but from the beginning of the season, you guys haven't been having like the injury crisis that we had. Because if you think about it, we had 9 Farouk, Jacob. We had 9 players. Araujo was out. Christensen was out. De Jong was out. Gavi was out. Who else was out, bro? I need to. Ansu was out. Bro, I can't even count all the players. Like the Stegen is out. We literally have had injuries in every single area in our team. Danny Olmo came in this summer. He suffered an injury, just returned recently. He just returned, right? So we've been having so many injuries in key areas, and so far is we've not even been showing it. That is what has been scary about us, right? Is the fact that we've had all these injuries, and when you look at it, it's very easy for Barcelona fans or Barcelona as a club to just say, "Yeah, we don't have any players. All our best players are out injured. We're having to play kids, right? That's why we're not starting well this season. If we have our players back, we'll start doing well." But at the end of the day, none of that has been happening this season. We've been playing the kids, and the kids are the ones that have been performing the way they've been performing now. The last few games that you've been seeing us dominate, it's been the kids, the ones who were not really expected to be starters this season, who've been doing this well. And that's why I believe that we're scary, because at the end of the day, we have not reached our full potential yet. We still don't know how good this team is going to be when those other injuries the other injuries that we have come back. How good is this team going to be?
Bro. The point is this: like you make this point, but like as Jacob said, this is a very valid point for Real Madrid because I look at this and actually when you just said this, it just flashed in my eyes.
Yeah.
Barca is scoring 7 and 5, and you've scored 44 goals in like 15 matches or shit like that.
Yeah.
Bro, we win at the Bernabeu on Saturday and we're top again. So what's the gist of the story then?
No, don't get it
And
twisted.
we're playing like us, bro. Like we're literally.
But that's the
that means
thing.
Even
That's the
bro,
thing.
even Sunaid is on the bandwagon right now, and that Real Madrid is shit, bro. Sunaid
No,
is
no,
like,
no, no, no,
he's
no,
the
no. Okay, so let me
grandchild
say
of
this.
Carlo Ancelotti, bro.
Let me be clear. Every Madrid fan who I've spoken to has been saying the same things you have, Jacob, Farouk. They've been saying the same things. You guys have not had a good start. The start that you expected, you guys haven't had it.
Yep.
If you're honest with yourselves with the performances, yes, you've been winning. Yes, you've been avoiding defeats, right? You guys have only lost 1 game in our competition so far this season. That was against
Dude,
Lille.
this is actually the
right?
story of the last few seasons. Like, we never look good, especially at the start of the season, but we just find a way to get the points. We're so close to you. We just a win at the Bernabeu, we're back on top again.
I
But
mean,
see,
that's
this
the thing.
is-
Like Omar is highlighting the fact that they had injuries, bro. Do you forget what happened to us last season? Before the game was kicked, Militao. Sorry, I think Courtois was out, then Militao, then Alaba,
Militao,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
Chouameni
yeah.
was out at a certain point in time.
Kamavinga
But
too.
also, but that's
Kamavinga,
I agree with that.
Bellingham got
completely-
his shoulder dislocated for 2 months.
And you know what? I agree with everything you guys are saying. I'm not saying that you guys didn't have your fair share of injuries. However, we were awful last season. Did you see us last season, bro? We were one of the, like. Let's be real. Compared to where we could be, we should have been able to take advantage of the fact that you guys had injuries. But we were that bad last season that your injuries didn't even affect you because we were losing games. We were losing unnecessary games, losing to Girona at home, losing to Villarreal at home, losing 2 games against Girona, and all of these games. You understand what I'm saying, right?
But Omar,
This- yeah.
let's. Sorry for interrupting, but I think maybe it's important to maybe come towards, since we're talking about Barcelona, maybe come towards your team. And now you're talking about the fact that you guys have youngsters and this and that, like the young kids that are not expected to be playing. But don't you think it's because of those young kids that you guys are flying this high?
Yes.
Because the point is, like, you look at it like it's like, okay, you talk about players that who's not going to be in the starting lineup. Is it Fermin Lopez? Like Fermin Lopez has been playing in the starting lineup since last year. Kubarsi has been there. Like maybe Casado is the one you say that, okay, maybe here's
Casado,
yes or no.
Marbenal, those ones you
But-
didn't
but-
expect
but-
them to start. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you don't expect him to start, but maybe he's the missing piece. Like, because the point is, like, you guys are trying to replace Sergio Busquets with different profiles of players.
And look, let me be honest. Let me be very honest, right? I am happy that the kids are doing well. Bro, at the end of the day, it's just squad depth for the team. It just means that when the other injured players come back, that's competition. Because now you have to come back and actually show, if these kids are doing well, now you have to show why you need to get back to the squad, to the first team. Because these players have proven that they're doing the job right now. So that just brings competition for our squad. Now, here's the difference for me, the difference between last season and this season, right? Yes, you guys have slow starts to the season, but it always depends on how the rest of the other teams in the league also start the season. So you guys may have a slow start, but your slow start is you will not play well, but you will still find a way to win the games. You understand what I'm saying, right? Whereas last season for us, because we were so bad, we weren't even taking advantage of the fact that you guys would draw games. You guys would draw a game and we would lose. You understand what I'm saying? This season, the difference between last season and this season is this season we started this season flying, right? So you guys have had the same start to the season as you always do. That's why you guys are still in and around where we are. But we've started in a very, very good form. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why, even though we have lost a game and you haven't, we are still 3 points ahead of you. You understand what I'm saying? Because before our loss against Osasuna, we've been winning games. We've won all our games before. We basically won every. How many games have we played so
Dude,
far
you
this
guys
season?
lost against Monaco too. Monaco.
Then yeah, we've played.
No, but
10
I'm talking
games so
about the
far.
league. I'm talking about the
Sure,
league.
sure. Yeah.
We've played
Yeah.
10 league games.
So in the league, right? Because you guys have drawn with Las Palmas, you guys have drawn with Aleti. You understand what I'm saying, right? So even though you haven't lost a game, you guys have had draws in certain games, right? Whereas
Yeah, 3 draws actually.
we haven't drawn a single game so far this season. We've lost one game and won the rest. You
Yeah,
understand
man,
what I'm saying?
nobody's saying that you guys have a bad start. You guys had the best start.
No. I know that's not what you're saying. My point is, you guys have had the same start that you always do every season, right? And we have had a better start than we had last season. That's why we're actually where we are right now, right? And that is the difference between last season and this season. Now, here's why a lot of the Madrid fans who I've been speaking to are a lot more critical of this season than they were last season. Because last season, you guys had the excuse of, yes, we have injuries everywhere in the team. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And we have major injuries, not just minor or like a few players. No, you guys had a lot of injuries, right? And the difference is a lot of the fans who are critical of the team right now are looking at the team and saying, well, look, maybe we might have lost Tony Cruz, maybe Alaba is injured, maybe we just lost Carvajal earlier. Yeah, we've lost Ada Guler for some part of the season. Brahim Diaz has been injured. However, it's not just the wins, it's the performances that I think worries a lot of the Madrid fans who I've been talking to, right? They believe that, especially you look at the games like the ones you guys were played against Sociedad. You guys won 2-0 away to Sociedad. But let's be real, if you watch that game, you guys were dominated the whole game, right? You guys were dominated, and then you had 2 penalties and you took your chances. You understand what I'm saying, right? And at the end of the day, even when you played Real Betis at home, Real Betis were playing better in that game. But guess what? You guys had to win against Alaves when you guys won 3-2. You guys were 3-0 up, coasting, relaxed, everything is cool, and then you guys just concede 2 goals around the end of the game, right? It's that kind of performances that is worrying some of these Madrid fans because they're like, yes, we're winning, but we're letting teams in. You understand what I'm saying? We're letting teams come to give us attack us, and unfortunately, some of the teams that you're playing, they don't take their chances against Madrid. The problem is because of this Barca team, how clinical we are right now, it's worrying a lot of Madrid fans because they're like, this. If we give these chances that we're giving to other clubs to Barcelona, we could be in trouble because this team are more dangerous. This team they've been taking their chance. That's why they've been scoring the amount of goals that they do. Because if you watch the game against Bayern had a lot of chances. But you see us, every time we went forward, we looked like we were going to score. We scored 4. We had I think 6 shots or 6 attempts on goal, and we scored 4 of them. That is how effective we are on goal. So defensively, even though we have been bad defensively, and I'm worried about the high line, I'm looking at the game against Madrid. I'm saying, if Madrid give us the chances that they've been giving other teams, because even in that game against Dortmund, you guys came back. It was an amazing comeback. But look at your defensive frailties in that first half. You don't want to give us that kind of defensive. You don't want those defensive frailties when you play us, because because we're more clinical than a Dortmund is.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
And if you give us one chance, and if you give us 1, 2, 3 chances, you could be 3-0 down just like that if you give us those chances. And that is where I think, even though, yes, I know, I'm well aware this is going to be a tough game, right? Because it never is. This game is always tough for both of our teams, right? There's never a time when I go to El Clasico thinking, I'm confident we're going to win. Even even if you guys are in bad form, I've always said this. El Clasico is the one game I'm always uncomfortable every week because every the week of the El Clasico, because I'm like, listen, it doesn't matter what form they're in. They can be the worst team in the league. Guess what? They can be like a 4-game, 5-game with no wins. Guess what? If they play Barcelona, they'll probably end their streak that day.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when we played you. I've seen us have some of our best teams, and yet still, when we played you guys end up breaking our streak. And now, speaking of streaks, you guys are 42 games now unbeaten. You guys are on the verge of tying our record in 2018. If you beat us, then that means that you've tied our record, and your next game you will break our record. So for many Barcelona fans, they're looking at them like, listen, if there's any motivation for these Barcelona players, it should be that. Do not let these guys get away with it. Do not let them break our record. You understand what I'm saying? So I do believe this is going to be a very interesting game. It's not going to be a dog game by any stretch. I think that there will be goals.
Yep.
There will be goals because I'm worried about our defense. That high line against Bayern Munich, I was losing my head. I'm like, bro, if we play this high line against Mbappe and Vinny, we're in deep trouble. We're gonna get massacred. And the problem is, Vinicius in the form that he's in, bro, if he let him get in that box, man, we are in trouble.
Absolutely, man. That's
And I'm
actually what
saying,
I wanted to ask you too. Like, do you think Hansi Flick is going to stick to the same high line, especially considering the forwards that we have?
I think that he will play the same high attacking football. For me, I just want him to be more careful with the high line. Don't go too high, because the problem is the high line is all the way to the midfield. I'm like, at least go back a little bit, especially against Mbappe and Vinny. These are two players that are too fast for our defenders. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is, Hansi Flick has shown to be a very, very good tactical genius. He seems to always know in-game analysis. He should be well aware to know that against Vinicius and Mbappe, you don't want to be too high, because if they catch that offside line, that's it. They could literally, like I'm talking about us scoring 3 goals. You guys could be 3-0 up if we do that in the first half. It's not out of the realms of possibility. So yes, I am very critical of that. But then again, I also think that we will definitely have chances against you, because I've seen every team have a chance against you guys, multiple chances, in fact. And if we get the chances that other teams are getting, I think that we can also give you problems.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. Like, I'll just tell you this. So we had this game against Atleti, right? They at that time they had really good attacking play. They looked really good against the other La Liga sides. But when they played us, we had a horrific defense, and everybody expected them to steamroll us, right? But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, we just step up in the big games, and we don't let as many chances. I'm sure Barcelona will have chances, but I'm sure you will know will not. It will not be like the Dortmund game or the Bayern game. We're gonna
Oh,
give you
no,
a hard time. For
absolutely
sure.
not.
Yeah.
I listen. At the end of the day, I've watched too many El Clasicos in my life. I will never go to any game thinking, listen, even though as a Barca fan, I should be confident because of how good my team is scoring goals. But this is El Clasico, like I said. I never feel confident. I can be more. I will be. I feel confident when we play any team in La Liga. If it's Atleti, I'm like, yeah, cool. We have a good record against Atleti. Against Girona, yeah, no problem. Against Valencia, yeah, no problem. Against Bayern Munich, I was saying, I said the same thing. I said, listen, we could either destroy them or we could draw the game 3-3. But every time people were asking me, I'm like, listen, for me, the El Clasico, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Like I should be confident because we're playing well and Madrid have not been performing well, but they've been winning games. And that is the thing. Let me tell you something, Jacob. I've been watching football way too long. I've been watching Madrid way too long. You see, when you guys were 2-0 up, 2-0 down, I said to my friend, because I was at work, I said, if Madrid score in the first 10 minutes of the game, they win in this game. And my friend was like, bro, but they're 2-0 down. I'm like, that's the thing, bro. It's Madrid. I'm like, I hate this club. I hate them so much. But I know, bro. And that's why I hate them, because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
When Rudiger scored that header, I said,
Game
pack
over.
it up. I said, pack it up. I said, pack it up. And literally within moments later, it was 2-2. I was like, hey, bro, what do you want me to say? Like, bro, I've been watching football way too long, bro. It's Ancelotti at Madrid. This is Ancelotti's bread and butter, bro. This guy, every time you think Madrid are dead, you can be the 95th minute and there's 30 seconds to go. Madrid will score 2 goals in 30 seconds. Don't ever sleep in this against this club, man. The only way you beat this club is to beat them till they are dead. I always say that if you want to beat Madrid, you need to make sure that you have 190 minutes of absolute 10 out of 10. Do not ever, at 1 second, keep your eyes off that team. Don't keep your eyes off them. Even when you guys lost to Lille, I was literally, bro, shaking because I wanted you to lose that game, but I was like, bro, this Madrid team, bro, they're gonna find a goal in the 97th minute, bro. They're gonna find that goal. They're gonna find that goal. Bro, you remember when you guys had that free kick, I was like, oh my god, bro, there's the goal. He's gonna cross it. Modric is gonna cross it and it's gonna get to the head of Rudiger, and then they're gonna get the equalizer. And then you guys lost that game. I was like, bro, see what I'm saying? These guys had to defend for their lives. They had to do so much defending. And I'm looking at and that game against Dortmund, they were 2-0 up. I was like, and everyone was like, oh, Madrid are 2-0 down. The 2-0 down. I'm like, I just sat there with my friend. I did not even react. Like, I swear, bro, I literally sat there, right? I was like, mm-mm. Like, everyone was telling me, Omar, remember the 2-0 down. I was like, yeah, I know.
Absolutely,
And they
man.
were like, bro,
This is just
you should be happy. Yeah,
lovely to
you
hear
should be
just
happy.
from
I'm like,
from a Barca fan. Actually, this is the first time that a Barca fan actually gave us some products. But yeah,
no,
man,
let
like
me tell you something, bro. I'm telling you, man, I don't want to swear, but I'll tell you, bro, I don't like talking good about your club, but it's the truth. At the end of the day, I've been watching football for way too long. And the thing is, because I've seen this, right? When you guys were tuning down, I said, the only way I'm gonna celebrate is if it's Dortmund score third.
absolutely,
If they're 3-0 up at the Bernabeu, then I'll celebrate because then I know they will win the game. But
absolutely,
at
man.
2-0 down, all they need is that is just one goal. They just need one goal. Once they get that one goal, that's it. And I literally said it. When you guys got that one goal, I was like, yep. Now they need one more goal to equalize. That's it. And then you saw what happened. You saw that whole second half. That second half was a joke.
Absolutely, man.
But it's Real Madrid, man.
It is Real Madrid. And, let's actually get into the lineups quickly. Do you think it's going to be the same lineups as in Bayern? Do you want to take us through that lineup quickly, or do you
Okay.
expect any changes?
So
Jacob, maybe we go for an ad break before he does the
Now I was
lineups.
thinking, before we do the Real Madrid stuff, let's do this.
okay.
Okay, cool.
No, I hear it. Um our lineup, our midfield, we played Fermin Lopez, Casado, and that's the point where I want to start. Casado, Pedri, and Fermin Lopez, right? I was surprised to see Fermin Lopez start, but listen, at the end of the day, he came in actually did a good job. Danny Olmo did not play in the two games. Now, I think he probably will start against you guys.
Really?
I think we're gonna eat it. I think he because let's be real, Danny Olmo is integral to that attack. If you remember how in the 3 games that he played, he scored like 3 goals in his first 3 games. I think 4 goals in his first 4 games or something like that. And he was literally instrumental. Everything was running through him. So against Madrid, we're gonna need him to be that instrument for that attack, right? I think that he will be like he'll be playing the 10 role with Rafinha and Yamal out in the wings, and then Lewandowski as the striker. And I think Pedri will actually drop back a little bit. I think that Casado will probably keep his place because Casado has been doing his job. He's been doing a very, very good job, right? And the thing with De Jong is I don't really trust him to really do much of the defensive work that Casado does. And the defense is going to be the same. Kobashi and Inigo Martinez will still be the center back partnership. The full back positions will also be the same. It will still be Kunde and Alejandro Balde. I think that a lot of people think that I say now will Chesney start or will it be Iñaki Peña? I think it's most likely going to be Iñaki Peña because so far he's been doing a good job when he's been given a chance. And look, you guys have also had your own injuries. Now we know that I think Courtois is injured, right? So
Yes.
Courtois suffered an injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Courtois, so both of us don't have our number ones in this game. But this is the thing. Lunin is a very good backup keeper. Very good. Like he's actually one of the most underrated number twos probably in Europe. People don't really give that guy enough respect. Every time that guy comes in, he does a good job. Every time.
He
Right?
does, man. Yeah,
And
honestly, he does.
and you know, Rodrigo is also going to be a huge loss because Rodrigo, I think, is one of the most underrated and most underappreciated players at Madrid. I don't know, maybe Madrid fans appreciate him, but I just don't think that people really give this guy the love that he deserves. Because this guy is he He's a very clutch player.
Yes.
Like that's one thing. Like I don't talk about Bellingham being clutch. Rodrigo is actually very clutch. Like this guy scores in our Clasicos. He scores in the Madrid derbies. He scores in the crucial games in the Champions League. Like he's there. Like you know what? One thing about me is right. Someone like Vinicius, right? The thing with Vinicius is yes, he scores goals, but one thing about Vinny is Vinny usually scores the goal that usually seals the win. Whereas Rodrigo is the guy who scores the goal that will bring us back into the game, basically, if you're a Madrid fan. Right? So he will so you guys at 1-0 down, it's Rodrigo who will score the equalizer. And then Vinny will be the one to score the winner.
The win.
And then he will get the plaudits and not the guy who actually started the comeback.
Totally agree,
So
man.
that's why so that's why I think that people need to put some respect on Rodrigo, because a lot of people think that Rodrigo is going to be the one to take way in the team eventually if Holland is ever to join Madrid and all of these stuff. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, listen, why do ruin a good partnership? This guy since he's arrived has always been like, for me, Vinicius. It took him like 2-3 seasons for us to finally see what Vinny could do. Rodrigo, when he arrived, was on the bench. He was always coming in and being a trouble for your team. So he's always been this guy from the moment I first saw him. I remember the first game I ever saw him play for you guys. It was against, funny enough, against Bayern Munich, and he scored that crazy free kick in the World Tour here in the US.
Yep.
I watched that game. I was actually in the stadium. I actually watched that game. When I saw that goal, I was like, bro, who is this kid? I was like, bro, who is this kid? And like, yeah, they signed him from Santos. I was like, bro. So they have two Brazilian youngsters now. It's ridiculous. But
Absolutely,
yeah,
man. He's
man,
going to be a
he's
big
gonna be a
miss.
hit.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that in the lineups when we come after the break. But yeah, let's go quickly. And then we'll get to some of the comments as well. I know you guys have a lot. Ashik is here. Sunaid, Milan, all of you guys. I'm going to read your comments when we're back. Take it away, Doris.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you, if you're ever looking for a way to support us, please do so and go to manscaped.com, use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Check out these thick silicone bristles. They are 100% antibacterial, no more germs hiding on your head. The bristles gently exfoliate your scalp, and the product helps reduce flaking caused by dry skin and buildup. One of the coolest features is that it helps stimulate blood flow to your hair follicles, and increased blood flow equals healthier hair. And trust me, I know I have a lot of it. Bristles also enhance shampoo penetration for more foam and less product, and with that you can also pair the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner from Manscaped for the ultimate hair care routine. And this is a pretty big sizable thing, and let's not forget the relaxing massage that it provides after a long day. Using this feels like a mini spa treatment. It's a great way to unwind while taking good care of your scalp. So yeah, go to manscaped.com, use our code LBR20 at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping.
That's the problem. People sometimes they have this thing where they just feel like you have to always be negative. I'm not one of those, man. I like to speak the facts. Sometimes people don't like the truth. Sometimes people think, people can say whatever they want. I'm my own man. I'm an independent
Bro.
YouTuber. I don't
Yeah,
really
man.
work with
It's
a lot
actually
of us.
hate that actually, gets in all the clicks and views, I know. And since we're back,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
were just talking about, how Omar likes to keep it real on his channel. So yeah, similar to
Yeah.
our channel, let's be real. Go and check him out if you can actually get some good Barcelona content from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, let's go through some of the comments and then slowly head into the lineups and the matchups for this game. So Roll Me on Kinobi says, "Hey all, hey you. And Milan says, finally, you guys get a good Barca guest. Omar keeps it real and isn't biased towards us. Absolutely, man. Is he one of your fans? Is he actually been on your channel?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen this guy before. I don't know if he's subscribed to my channel. But if he's not, you should subscribe. I do a lot of Barcelona content, so yeah, you'll probably be seeing me there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And Sunet says, nobody's gonna lay the red carpet for you like Bayern did. The High Line, no one in their senses is gonna play against you.
Yeah. But listen, you give away too many chances though. And
We
like
do.
I said, we don't need to have like 5, 10 chances in the game. We've shown that if you give us 1 or 2 chances, that's all we need. So at the end of the day, you guys give away too many chances. So at the end of the day, if you do that, you'll be in trouble as far as us is going forward is concerned.
Absolutely. Milan has a comment about Kylian. Actually, multiple comments. This one says Kylian hasn't performed to the level we expected yet, but he's performing better than most players. And comparing him to Vinny is almost unfair because Vinny is clearly the best in the world currently, and Kylian is still top 10 though.
He should be top 5 at least. He's top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's just like, when people used to say the same thing about Ronaldo and Messi when they reached their 30s, right? And people were trying to disregard Ronaldo. Bro, Ronaldo is still either number 1 or number 2. Like, I don't care what anyone says. You can say, oh, well, he's not scored a few goals in the last 3 games or 4 games or any of those stuff. But that doesn't mean that he's still not one of the best players in the world. He still is. And that's the thing. That's why I always say this. I judge players based on the standard that you are at. I judge different players differently. If I don't rate you too highly, some things I can give you patience for because I never expected anything from you. When it comes to someone like Kylian is considered world class. So you know what I do? I judge you to world class levels. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So for some people who say, oh, well, you just need to give him time. No, if he's world class players get judged in their own range. Someone like Vinicius now is world class. If he has a stinker, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to say, yo, Vinicius hasn't had, for the last 3 games, he's been terrible. Let's talk about it. You understand what I'm saying? No one is going to sit there and say, oh, but it's Vinicius, it's just 3 games. No, you're world class now. You got to be judged by world class standards. Right? At the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to basically say. Some players, I don't judge them the same. Like, I'm not going to judge Arthur Güler like I judge Kylian Mbappe. So yeah.
Yeah, man, totally agreed. He
One
gets
second,
paid,
guys.
get paid the big bucks, for a reason. And Ashik is in the chat as well. He says, I know I'm late, but I'm here. Time to play the peasants again on Saturday. I don't know if they're peasants anymore, like I said in the intro. It's been a long time. They've been peasants for a long time, but now they finally have what looks like a competitive team. But yeah, let's see on Saturday. And he also says, whining peasants, I mean, cry and whine, play victim, the usual coolers. Let's see, man. This is going to be a spicy one, though.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see how it is with Barcelona because although as Omar was saying, like okay, yeah, like they're gonna have a lot of chances, but I do think it's also like something that also we're gonna have, and it's a tantalizing prospect. When you have a team that's playing so high, it's gonna be Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior running at them. So I think it's gonna be really, really. I do think we're gonna have a lot of chances ourselves. So I think it has the potential to be a really, really tantalizing game with end to end. But then how much of end to end it will be also will depend on us as well because I think we're most likely also gonna play like a low block, to try to.
I was going to ask about that. Like at Darwin, I think one of the main issues in the first half was we backed off way too much. We just did not pressure them enough. Like, do you think we're gonna repeat the same mistake again?
I mean, eventually, when you look at like some of the goals that were considered from Borussia Dortmund, like it's about, for instance, like I think it was for the second goal, if I'm not mistaken, like or was it for the first goal? Anyways, like for the second goal, like no, sorry, for the first goal, we had Lucas Vasquez losing the ball, and then Mendy not knowing what was around him.
Happening, yeah.
So like when you look at that, it's not about the fact of that you back up too much or like someone was there or not there. It's about the fact that like individual mistakes and lack of awareness. For the second goal, Lucas Vasquez literally, just left the marker like, yeah, you're free to do whatever you want. And you could see how livid Militao was after the goal was scored. Like it was just there, like that's the thing. So I don't think it's more about the backing. Of course, like they created chances and everything, but like when you look at the goal scoring actions in themselves, in my opinion, it was just like individual lapses. And that's the thing, like even for the goal that Lucas Vasquez was responsible for, Mendy was beaten so easily by Donny Malen, in my opinion. And this is the thing that we've always talked about with Falan Mendy, right? The best defensive fullback, because there is zero offense there. So Mendy has been a liability this season for a lot of games. Now, literally, almost every 1v1 he's beaten on them. In the past, it was almost impossible to beat Mendy on the 1v1s. So this is also things that you need to highlight. And then now he's gonna go and play against, Yemen as well. So it's quite a scary prospect, because like if Yemen gets him isolated in a 1v1, because we know it's gonna happen. Vinicius is not gonna track back to cover for him. Definitely not. So we know it's gonna happen. Okay, yeah, maybe then we're gonna need Fede or Jude, to depend on which positions they play, to kind of drop down and also help with that. But this is the thing, like the defensive solidity is totally gone for the team. So even the low block is there, but still that isolation of 1v1 on the wing is something that's going to be interesting. On the other hand, as well, we have Lucas Vasquez, against the inform, Rafinha as also. That's also something that's going to be quite scary. But again, I do think in that case we need again one of Jude or Ferry to actually try to cover and plug holes there. So honestly, it's going to be quite interesting to see how these guys cope with the wingers. But on the other hand, I do think offense is the best form of defense. Like we ping the ball. It's just it's a race between Vinicius, Mbappe, and their defenders, and definitely we know that they all cannot catch these guys. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. And also, like Araujo is not there this time around, so it should be quite interesting. Like I do believe that as Omar was saying, a lot of chances, but I think like we're gonna have like significant chances as well, because we're not gonna play the way Bayern Munich played. That's just one thing for sure.
No,
Definitely not.
I hear all of that, but can I just say also this?
Yeah.
As much as I do agree that yes, we do have our frailties. The reason why I'm a little bit more confident than I am usually when I'm playing Madrid, it's because I see that you guys can be got at. Because you know how you basically said that we haven't really played any teams that can really worry us. I could say the same thing about Madrid. Like, let's be real. I know you guys play Atletico and Drew, right? You guys play Dortmund, but let's be real. Atleti lost 3-1 yesterday against Lille at home.
Sure. You cannot compare Atleti that plays against other teams compared to the Atleti that plays
No,
against us. At the Calderon,
No, I know, but let me just explain, right? I've been watching Atletico so far this season. I know the Madrid derby is different. It's a lot more different. However, I'm looking at their form and I'm saying that whether we want to disregard form or not, this Atleti team, right, are not really where we are right now. You understand what I'm saying? Right? I personally believe that this game against us is the first time that you guys are actually playing a team that could potentially give you actual trouble. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Because yes, you might have lost to Lille, but the Lille result was a surprise for many people. Many people didn't expect you guys to lose that game, right? And even though, yes, you guys are undefeated, it's kind of not a surprise to a lot of people that you're undefeated, because many people expected that you should be able to beat the teams that you've been playing so far. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So you've been undefeated in the league doesn't really surprise people, right? And I think a lot of people, that's why a lot of people are critical of your performances and not the results, because the results is not what surprises people. It's the performances that they feel like needs to improve. You understand what I'm saying, right? But I genuinely do believe as well that you guys have shown too much frailties against some of the teams that you've played who you should be beaten, when now you are actually now playing a team now where you are not exactly the favorites. You're not the outstanding favorites to win it. They're looking at everyone who's looking at this El Clasico is saying Barcelona have as much chance to beat Real Madrid as Real Madrid have of beating Barcelona, especially in the form that they're in now, right? So this is one of those games where Ancelotti has to, for your sake, has to look at the problems that you guys have had so far this season and make sure to not, I wouldn't necessarily say stop it, because sometimes you can't stop some of these chances that will come in, but minimize the chances that you give us. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, we know that.
Because
We know you
because
guys are
yes,
clinical. If we give chances like against Real Sociedad or some of the other lower teams, you're gonna run steamrollers, and we're not gonna have a chance to fight back. But these
and see that's, and I agree with that, but this is what I'm saying, right? Because I've already told you my word is about your club. I've already told you my word is. Where I think you guys should be worried is that I don't think your performance should be ignored. I think that people should really take into account just how your performances have been so far, because performances speak volumes about what season you're gonna have. You understand what I'm saying, right? The reason why, no, let me explain. The reason why, from the beginning of the season, I didn't expect Barcelona to be anywhere near the title race. You wanna know why? Because I saw my team and I said, we have too many injuries who are gonna be out for not just a month. No, we have players who are out till December. You understand what I'm saying, right? And we didn't actually go and sign the players that we needed in the transfer window. We wanted a right back. We needed an attacking midfielder. And we needed a winger. But we only signed one of those. You understand what I'm saying? We're playing Kunde at right back. He's not a right back. We have zero right backs in our club. So I was looking at that. I was saying, at the end of the day, we have too many frailties in the team. I'm not expecting anything this season. However, since I've said that, everything has changed. The manager has quickly implemented his system, and his system has been working very well.
yeah,
So
man. Like
now,
this is the thing, right? It has been working well so far, but and you have to remember you're playing with kids and everything. Uh, let's say it continues the same way. You seem to have so many injuries because we're playing a lot of games, right? It's not going to work out in every game. The tactics are going to get found out. Teams are going to figure out how to play against you, and the kids, they're going to crumble against pressure in the bigger games when things are not really going your way. And you shouldn't expect that it'll continue the same way. I'll say this about us, right? We learn from our mistakes, and then later on in the season, we come alive. So I'm not really worried about performances at this point, at so early on in the season.
mhm. No, I hear it, and I still believe that you will still be in the title race. Listen, I'm more confident now of winning the league than I was in the beginning of the season. Because listen, at the end of the day, we won the league 2 seasons ago. It's not like we've now won the league recently. You understand what I'm saying, right? The title race is always like this every season. Maybe not like last season, because last season you guys steamrolled the league, right? But at the end of the day, you guys are going to be in the title race. We're going to be in the title race. You understand what I'm saying, right? I'm sure you're confident you're going to win it. I'm confident we're going to win it. You understand what I'm saying, right? But I will say this. I will say this. At the end of the day, when I see Madrid not win the league, especially when Xavi won it in 2023, right? One thing I would say about that season for you guys was that your performances wasn't good. And the problem was you were paying for your lack of good performances, because you were losing games when you didn't need to lose games. You were drawing games when you didn't need to draw games. You understand what I'm saying, right? So, yes, you can also say that just like last season, you can do the same thing that you did last season. But then again, we've seen under Ancelotti that sometimes if you don't perform well, other teams will figure you out and they will take their chances when they get it. We saw that's what Lille did against you guys, right? Lille were given a few chances and they took one of those chances and they just defended for their lives and got the win, right? And if other teams in La Liga start to figure out that's how to beat you, right? You will drop points. I'm not saying you're going to lose a lot of games, but even drawing games is going to be a problem for you. Because if let's say, we're playing some of the teams that we've been playing this season, like the Villarreals, like the Valencias, like the Rayo Vallecanos, Valladolids, right? Getafes, all of these teams that we've been playing, right? And we keep dominating and beating them every single time. And then in rare occasions, you guys are drawing games. That's just us adding up the points. You understand
Man,
what I'm saying?
that's the
But
thing.
that's the thing, Omar. Like this is it's not possible to keep scoring at this rate and winning at this rate. This is just it.
But
Like
you don't
it's
always have to.
mathematically
But
impossible.
we don't. But this is the thing, Farouk. We're not doing that, because remember, before the international break, right? We played Getafe at home and we won 1-0. We didn't play well in that game. We were poor. But guess what? We got the win. So what that has shown me is we will not always be playing this high intensive, high attacking football against everyone. But what I did see in that game against Getafe was that we will find a way to win even when we don't play well. And that's what I want to see. That's what's going to make me believe. That's when I actually started believing that we can win the league. Because I'm like, I want to know that we're going to have high intensive games, but also when we don't always have the ball, I was confident that we will get away with a 1-0, with a 2-1.
But that's the thing again. Like the thing about
Yeah.
this is like it's still basically August, Like, and the point is, everyone who watches Real Madrid knows that until February, like you don't get to see the final form of what Real Madrid season gonna look like, And so that's the thing. Like right now, as I stated earlier, like with all what's happening around Real Madrid, like we've been asked and everything, and Barcelona are flying. We win on Saturday and we're first.
Yep.
Basically, we win on Saturday and we're first. So like literally everything.
But that's the thing.
And like,
but that's
I
the
feel
thing.
like,
like,
let
that's
me
the
ask you,
thing.
like,
What
you
I'm trying
seem
to
super
make-
confident heading into this game. Like, do you know what are the
I'm not-
matchups?
I'm not
Who are you
necessarily super-
actually
I'm not-
seeing as a weakness that you can exploit against this team? Let's talk
No,
about the
let me
matchups.
say this.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to make this very clear. I'm confident we're going to win because yes, I am a fan. And El Clasico, I've seen us win when we're not supposed to win. I've seen us lose when we're supposed to be winning, right? So the Barca fan in me is confident we're going to win because I'm looking at their performance and saying we can win. However, I'm not sitting here saying it's a guarantee or it is the most likely that we're going to win. Because let me remind everyone, we're playing away to the Bernabeu. So as confident as I am not 100% confident. If I was to put my confidence in a percentage, I'll probably say I'm around 40% confident. And the reason I'm 40% is because we're playing away. Because even though I'm saying that yes, home and away doesn't matter, it does. They listen. When you're in that stadium and the crowd are against you, it gets to those players. You understand what I'm saying, right? At the end of the day, can we win? Yes, we're in good form. Our performances have shown that we can win. Can we lose? Absolutely. Because defensively, we play a high line and we could be found out, right? Or we could just play a crazy game where we draw a game and we draw 2-2 or 3-3 or something like that. It could just be one of those games where both of our defenses are just giving chances away and both of our teams can't seem to cancel each other out. This I'm telling you, Jacob, I can't predict this game. I'm just confident because I'm a fan, but I am not confident. I'm not sitting here saying, putting my neck on the line, saying it's a guarantee. I'm so confident we're going to win it because it's Madrid. Yes, they're not playing well, but it's Madrid, and because it's Madrid, I can never be too confident when I'm playing you. So yeah.
Yeah, man, totally agreed. I guess Farooq, do you want to go into the lineups then? Wind this up.
All right, let's hear it. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, from our side, we knew that already Thibaut is out for I think 2-3 weeks. So definitely, it's gonna be as Omar has highlighted, a very capable and able backup in Andre Lunin. So he's gonna come back into the lineups and hopefully he can continue the form he left last season as well. And I think for our fullbacks, I think it's gonna be the same as against Dortmund with Lucas Vasquez captaining the team and also Ferland Mendy playing on the left hand side. I think also that's the thing for centre backs. Do you think we're gonna see anything different, or is it just gonna be the combination of Rudiger and Militao?
How can it be any different, man? We have nobody else.
I mean, we've seen Tchouaméni play there from time to time as well, so that's the thing.
Hey, having only two center backs, only I know how that feels. We only have Kubashi and Inigo Martinez, so I know the feeling, bro. Trust me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we will, anyways. Then in that case, then we would assume that we go with Militao and Rudiger, then and then I think in the midfield is where things get a bit more interesting, considering that with the fact that we know for sure we're not going to play with three attackers, given that Rudiger is out for 10 to 15 days.
Yep.
So we know Tchouaméni plays. We know what's he called? Fede Valverde plays, and also like Jude Bellingham plays. So the question now becomes: is it a Luka Modric or is it Eduardo Camavinga? I don't know.
And
What do you think?
here's why I think it's gonna be Camavinga. Like we saw Mendy get left on his own at Dortmund, right? That was the major problem. Modric just wasn't tracking back. He couldn't track back at the pace the game was going. So I feel like if Camavinga comes in there, Carlo might have seen that happen and then be like, man, at least this first half we gotta start with Camavinga and then maybe we bring Modric on.
Actually, that kind of makes a bit of sense, So like, but then I feel like without Luka Modric, like who plays those defense splitting passes as well, because as we saw against Dortmund as well, for instance, for the equalizing goal, okay, like he played the pass into Mbappe like it was a phenomenal slide rule pass, So how are you able to create those passes without Luka
Uh,
Modric? That's also something, So because we need to exploit, the gap that Barcelona is going to keep, because that's definitely for sure. We almost know that Carlo is going to play something a bit more defensive, and Flick is going to go on the offense a bit. So like, there's going to be some space to exploit there for the two forwards, who definitely will be Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe, barring any surprises or unforeseen circumstances. So that's where I'm just lost, is that, like, how do you deal with that? So Luka Modric, but also I get the point you're making with Edu Camavinga as well. I just feel like, from my side, I would want to start with Luka Modric and see, how the game goes.
I mean, he's doing well. Every time he's come in this season, he's actually been playing well. He got 2 assists in the last 2 games.
I mean, the point we're trying to make is, it's not about like the fact that Luka has been bad. No, it's just about, like, the defensive solidity that's been lacking, as you also highlighted. A lot of chances have been considered. So the point is, like, if you throw in Eduardo Camavinga, he's that extra physical and mobile body. Unlike Luka Modric, who was like basically 40 years old, and it's impossible to ask him to go back and forth for a 90, especially in a high tempo game, as against it will be against Barcelona. So that's why we're actually thinking maybe Edu Camavinga might be a choice. But I just think for that extra offensive output, I will still stick with Luka Modric, and have Camavinga ready, just in case, depending on how the game goes, and you can always make that substitution later on.
Right, I hear it.
Yeah, man. So actually, like, Omar, what would scare you more? Having a third attacker with Real Madrid, or just that 4-man midfield that we usually have?
You know what? I think that it's most likely he's probably, especially the way we're playing this high line, he'll probably just play Mbappe and Vini as a front two. It won't surprise me if you guys play the diamond. So he would probably play Vini as and Mbappe as the 2 attackers, and put Bellingham as like the number 10 behind them. And he'll probably, like, obviously I've heard that you talking about Modric and his form, but if he does start Modric, he might play a midfield of Modric and Valverde as like the sitting midfield, as a midfield, and then maybe have Camavinga sit in the midfield, right? But also, is Tchouaméni is available, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
Tchouaméni
Yeah,
is available.
yeah. So Tchouaméni has actually been playing centre back in certain games for you guys this season.
In one game, yeah.
I've been actually, yeah, I
Pretty
saw it.
good.
Was it against Villarreal? He was playing as a centre back. So unless he gets played as a centre back, he might also be the one to play in the defensive midfield role. Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Camavinga or Tchouaméni?
Hard question. I would,
As the
at this
holder, I
point,
would rather have.
Tchouaméni, man.
Mm.
You?
That's against Barcelona. Basically, think about it, where we're playing. Who would you rather be safe with
You'll be
in that
Tchouaméni.
midfield?
Camavinga is just way too
Given?
unpredictable. Like, he just has these nonsensical plays where he just gives the ball away cheaply. But Tchouaméni, you don't really see that. He's a bit more predictable, even though he doesn't offer that much in attack.
No, I hear it. And look, at the end of the day, you guys do have threats. You do have threats. And if he does play the diamond, I will be worried, because if you guys have those 2 just sitting in the attack, you just know what they're gonna do. You just know what they're gonna do. That's why I think that if he plays the diamond, he'll probably start Modric, because Modric will just hit the long passes to the box, especially if he knows we're playing the high line. They'll be like just looking for Modric, and the Modric will just literally just fling. I mean, you've seen like the last 2 assists in the Celta Vigo game. Look at that assist he gave to Vini. Like, look at that pass. Bro, if we're playing the high line and he hits those kind of passes to Vinicius, we're cooked. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. At the end of the day, if he plays that diamond, I will definitely be worried. And if I see Modric in that starting 11, it will definitely worry me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I mean, Omar, now's the time on this podcast where we have to kind of do the impossible. Predict the scoreline. Are you up for it?
my
Man
bias,
is contemplating his life, bro. He was like, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
my Barcelona bias cap is telling me we're gonna win 3-2. because I think that it's going to be a high scoring game and we're just going to get 3 chances and we're going to get 3 goals. But the more logical side of me is saying that if we don't leave there with a victory, we could leave there with a draw, like a 2-2 or even like a 1-1. You don't be surprised. It could be one of those games where maybe you guys take the lead early and then we get back in the game, or that we take the lead and then you guys go attacking. But it's going to be a high scoring game. It wouldn't even surprise me if it's like a 3-3 because of both of how poor we are defensively. Like I said, if it could either be 3-2 or most likely a 3-3 because of our defenses.
Yeah, I can
For
believe
us,
that.
that's
How about you,
yeah.
Farooq?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say the 3-2 as well. Like, I think it's gonna be a 3-2. Like, I think Real Madrid is gonna race into a lead, and like Barcelona is gonna crawl back. I think most likely, we can go up to 3-1, and like Barca will try to fight back, and the game ends at a 3-2 or something similar to this.
The problem is right now these two teams are in literally like this is literally one of the most perfect time. I don't think they could have picked a better time to play a Clasico. The fact that we both just came out of destroying German teams in the Champions League, we just came back from like destroying teams, right? This is what has literally made the El Clasico even more hyped now. Because now everybody's now looking at the El Clasico and now saying, "Bro, these guys are scoring goals. How is this game going to be on the weekend?" So yeah, man. At the end of the day, we both have Brazilians who are in the form of their lives right now. It's going to be a good game, man. You got Mbappe against Lewandowski. You got Rafinha versus Rafinha against Vini. I mean, both of them got hat tricks in the weekend, so both of them have a point to prove, right?
Really, Lee, you think Rafinha is more important to this team than Yamal at the moment?
No, I'm just using the Brazilian analogy. I'm not necessarily saying because listen, Yamal is just ridiculous. That kid. One thing I've always seen. I don't know if you guys have seen the meme, right? You know that meme that's always been going crazy where they show Madrid buying all these superstars, and then every time they think they're gonna dominate Barcelona, just get this talent. This breakout talent, he's just going to ruin everything for Madrid every season. Basically, do you remember like the first Galacticos, right? You guys bought all these superstars, and then Barca just go and went and bought Ronaldinho, and then he just cost you guys so many league titles, like for 2 seasons when he was there, right? He won the league, I think, in the 2 seasons that he was there. He won the Ballon d'Or. Was it 2 times, right? And then they basically showed in 2009 when you guys went and bought Ronaldo, Kaká, Benzema, all of these superstars, and then you just had a prime Messi. And Prime Messi was just costing you everything. And then people are looking at this team and they're saying, "Oh, you guys have Vini, you guys have Mbappe," and then they're like, "Oh, there's Yamal now. Yamal is the one who's going to ruin everything for Madrid in this era." But yeah, man, it's always been like this, hasn't it? Like our clubs, man. Madrid will always try to buy the superstars, and then they think they dominate. That's why I always tell them, I'm like, listen, maybe Madrid's record in Europe is better than their record in Spain. Even though they've won the most league titles, they don't always get their way in Spain. Let's be real. You guys, even when you guys had like that famous Madrid team under Zidane where you guys won 3 Champions League, bro, that guy won 1 league title in that 3 times he won the Champions League. Only one.
Yeah, true.
And I've always said this is because at the end of the day, it's different. In Europe, like Thierry Henry used this analogy, and this actually was a good analogy. He said, he says, Real Madrid are feared by everyone in Europe, but Real Madrid fear Barca, and that is why in Europe you guys always dominate, but in Spain we always have that. We will always have that. I'm not necessarily saying that we always have that edge over you, but you don't have it your way when you're in Spain, like when you do in Europe. In Europe,
it's not just Barca, man. It's just I feel like we fear more the likes of Rayo or just the teams who sit back. We just
exactly.
No, but think about it. But this is the thing. Every time you guys don't win the league, when you don't win the league, it's usually us who wins it.
But bro, the point is not about it's about the issue that like Real Madrid are a team of moments.
No, but
we played in moments. The point is like you cannot motivate the players to play against Rayo Vallecano or to play against the I don't know the Mallorcas and all that. Or you do not need to motivate Real Madrid players to play for 15 minutes against Borussia Dortmund and score 5 goals.
But see,
You don't need to motivate them to play for 30 seconds and score.
but see, this is the problem, right? You guys have won the most
like with
Champions League.
Barcelona, you guys have that consistency that it doesn't matter who you're playing, you know how to get the job done.
But I understand that. But let me counter it with this. You know what Madrid's right now biggest dream is? Madrid's biggest dream is to win the treble. Because you guys have won everything, basically. You guys have won the league. You guys have won the most leagues, most Champions League. You guys are the third most Copa del Rey's. But in your whole history, you've never once did the treble.
Man,
one
I would
time.
rather win 3 more Champions League than a treble. Like, fuck the Copa del
No,
Rey.
no, no,
Fuck
but
that.
no, but I understand that. But do you know what the treble does for your ego as a club? Basically, you're saying every trophy, every tournament we've walked in, we are so good that every single tournament we've walked in, we've walked out of winners.
Man, like
when we
let
won,
me tell you, like
when we won,
winning the Champions League a couple of times in a row, it feels way better than a treble. I'm telling you.
No.
Right now.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Winning the Champions League is always great, right? It's always great. But there's something, bro. I'm telling you, man. When you guys ever win the treble, I hope you don't ever win it. But when you win it, bro, you will see the difference. There's a level of ego that gives you to know that you are so good, right? Everywhere you go to, you go and get the trophy. In 2009, when we won the 6 trophies, dude, that was something, bro. My ego was on another level because I was like, listen, we walked into the league, we won it. We went to the Champions League, we won it. We went to the Copa del Rey, we won it. We went next season, we went to the Super Cup, we won it. We went to the Club World Cup, we won it. You understand what I'm saying, right? We just entered every single trophy that we went to and won it every single time. There's a level of ego that gives you. That basically shows that, bro, we are untouchable. You can't touch us, right? We are so
fine.
good.
Like, you can touch us in the Copa del Rey. It's fine. Just take it. Let us win the Champions League.
I mean, if you want, even from now, we can just write Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, man. You guys can take it, bro. Like,
listen. There's a few teams.
The three-peat has an element of invincibility to it, bro. Like having the trophy.
But this is the thing. You just mentioned something. But see, you just mentioned something.
3 times in a row against the best teams in the world, bro.
But I understand that. But let me also say this, man. I will always use this analogy every time. You know what the difference? The biggest difference is this, right? You just mentioned it. Champions League is about moments, and teams that have moments always go on to win it. In tournament football, anyone can beat anyone. Don't ever get it twisted. The reason why Madrid always win is because Madrid don't always have to be the best. They just have to win. That's why they always win the Champions League. You understand what I'm saying, right? At the end of the day, when Chelsea won that first Champions League, they were not the best team in Europe. But guess what? They won the thing. Because you know what? Every time they had the moment, they had the moments to win it. Right? At the end of the day, in tournament football, even in World Cups, in the Copa America, the Euros, Africa Cup of Nations, when you're watching all these tournaments, right, you see rare occasions where the team that you never think will win it go on to win the thing. Why? Because that team had the moments, and it was just happens that they were in the right place at the right time to get it done. You understand what I'm saying, right? At the end of the day, the reason for me, I'm telling you that the treble is different, is because the treble, basically, if anyone is doubting you and saying, well, you guys won it, but then, these teams were this and this and this. When you win the treble, nobody can ever deny that you are the best. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Really?
Because let me be clear.
Ask anyone, any fan in the last couple of years, man. Ask them who the best team in the world is. It's Real Madrid.
No, they will say Madrid, but this is the thing. Some people will also say City.
Sure.
Some people will also say City. But that's the thing. The fact that they put in City in that conversation is not enough. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why City is in that conversation is because City won the treble. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, because they also won the Champions League and the league.
But
I think those two are the most important. It's not because they won the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. It's not because of that.
No. But that's the thing. The fact that they won the FA Cup, right? They could have just did what you guys are saying and just say, yeah, screw the FA Cup. We'll just go for the Champions League and the league. But they were just sitting there and said, no, it's not enough. We want to go win everything. We want to win everything that we're in. You understand what I'm saying? We want to show everyone that we're so good. We will walk into any tournament, tournament and win it, right? Them winning that treble is the reason why now, when people put Madrid in the favorites, they always put City next to you. You understand what I'm saying, right? City will
The
always be
reason
next
why
to you.
the reason why City is sitting next to it is not just about the treble. It's about the fact that City is always there every season for the past 5 years.
But that's
Every
the thing.
season,
But this is the
City.
thing. But this is the thing. But this
This
is
is
the
the
thing.
reason why Real Madrid is there
No,
as
but
well,
this is the
because
thing.
we're
Before
there
they won the
every year
Champions
for
League,
the past
but this is
10
the
years.
thing. Before they won the Champions League, there was serious bottlers in the Champions League. Before they won it, they would always get close and then they would mess it up. Everyone was looking at
I
them
mean,
like
it
that.
depends. It depends on how you call bottling, because like being in the last four of the Champions League, like I mean, if
No,
you define that as bottling,
but look at if in the first season that Ancelotti was back when you guys won the Champions League against Liverpool, right? They were 2-0 up on aggregate. It should have not been as close as it was. They had chances to finish you
bro,
to
it's
finish you
Real
up in that
Madrid,
game.
bro. It's Real Madrid
No,
at the
but
Bernabeu, man.
we can
Everything
say that.
happens.
But this is the thing.
Everything
We
happens.
can
Chelsea
say
were
that.
there, Paris were there. It happens. We
Look,
went to the final against Liverpool.
you can tell me that, but
We
this
had
is
2
where
shots in 1 goal. We won the
look. I'm a
tournament.
bit, but let me tell you something, Farouk. This is why I'm looking at it differently from where you're looking at it, because they did that in the semifinal, but the year before they went to the final against Chelsea, and you know what Pep did? Pep said I wasn't going to play with no defensive midfielders.
Yeah.
And then they lost that final against Chelsea. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? And before that, they lost to Lyon in the quarterfinals. And in the year before that, they lost to Tottenham. And the year before that, they lost to Liverpool. So guess what? They were always the team that everyone was looking at saying they might win the Champions League, but they always fell short every single time, right? So before they won the treble, everyone was always looking at them like that. They were looking at them like, yeah, you guys should win it, but you guys are always flattering to the
But that's the
every
thing, Omar.
single
You're
season.
literally just validating the point that it's winning the Champions League that seals your position as the best team in the world. But City has won the 3 trophies that's available in England. They won the treble, the domestic treble. But still then, there was something missing. The UCL is what seals everything. But you might win the league. Without the Champions League, it's nothing. But when you win the league, you're not considered the best team in the world.
Okay, so let me ask you
when
this
you
question.
win the Champions League, you're automatically in the conversation. Even if you're not considered the best, winning the Champions League just puts you there, even if you're shit. If you even were relegated to the 2nd division, winning the UCL puts you there in the upper echelon of K.
No, I understand this. Listen, I am not denying what you're saying, but I want you to understand also that because we here have been watching football for way too long. We've seen teams who won the Champions League who we look at and say, listen, as much as you guys won the Champions League, you guys are not the best team in Europe. I can give you the perfect example. Chelsea in 2012. They won the Champions League.
Sure, we are not Chelsea, man. Like we've been winning Champions League consistently. Like we just know.
But no. But this is the thing. You just heard what he just said. Winning the Champions League puts you in the upper echelons. My point is this: when they won that first Champions League, that same year, Real Madrid did 100 points and scored 121 goals in the 2012 season in La Liga. Do you think that Madrid team, that Chelsea team, was better than that Madrid team? Not even close. Because if you guys played, because you guys lost to the semifinals to Bayern. If you guys had beaten Bayern, if you guys did the final, you guys would have beaten that Chelsea team. Because you guys was free scoring that season, right? But guess what? It's moments. You guys didn't take the moments and you lost that semifinals, right? And they went into the finals and they lost in the final. You understand what I'm saying? So they did win the Champions League. And
I mean, the point is you're nitpicking here, Omar. The point is why I'm saying you're nitpicking is that the whole idea is about like when you win the Champions League 3 times in a row, it's different from Chelsea that's winning 1 Champions League after having 1 final. Before Chelsea won that before they won that Champions League, they had been in the final only once before. And after that, they were not in the final again till 2022. So basically 10 years later. So basically you're talking about a span of around 17 years. They're in 2 finals, or rather in 3 finals in 17 years. You can't have that discussion. What I'm saying to you here is that for Real Madrid, we have been 4-time winners in 5 years. So like there is no better stamp. Like it's not about like I'm not saying okay, yeah, this team won once in this year and that. No, I'm saying like you have to aggregate the whole score. You have to like look at the bigger picture here. Why are we saying that okay, Real Madrid winning the three-peat cemented the position as the best team in the world? Because the point, as you mentioned, is a team of moments, right? It's not like you're randomly falling into these moments.
So this is the thing. Can I just say this? And I want to clear this. I want to clear this because I feel like maybe a lot of people in the comments are beginning to confuse what I'm saying. I'm not sitting here and saying that when you guys did the trip, you were not the best team in Europe. You were the best team in Europe and in the world. I'm not denying that because you're right. Winning the Champions League 3 times is not.
Wait,
Is
did,
not.
did
Is
we
not.
win the treble then? Then why are we the best team in Europe?
No, 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 no. Because you know what I said. My point was right. Winning the treble is different because at the end of the day, you can win 3 Ps, right? And at the end of the day, winning 3P does make you the best team in the world. I'm not denying that, right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, winning the treble also gives you a certain level of elevation.
Sure.
You understand what I'm
I get
saying,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And that is where I feel like people may be confused because they think I'm saying that doing the treble is better than doing the 3P. That's not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. For anyone who thinks that's what I'm trying to say, that's not what I'm trying to say, right?
Actually,
Doing the 3P is just as or even more crazy than doing the treble because the treble is just one season. You understand what I'm saying, right? One season, you can have one good season and win 3 trophies. You understand what I'm saying, right? But 3P, winning the 3P means that you win the Champions League, then you come back next season, win it again, and then you come back the following season, win it again. To have that to have that kind of mentality to stay on top, that mentality to always come back and say, we're going to win it again and again and again and again and again. You understand what I'm saying, right? That, for me, I don't deny it. I've already said it myself, bro. That Madrid team was one of the scariest teams. The reason I didn't fear them as much is because we never played you guys in the Champions League. We only played you in the league, and you guys, and in the league, we did have your number in the league. You understand what I'm saying? So, like other teams in Europe who feared you, I didn't fear you like that because I never played you in Europe. You understand what I'm saying? Right? But it doesn't change the fact that I knew that you guys were scary. I did know you guys were scary because when I used to watch you in the league, you would go lose games, draw games, and then you will go to the Champions League, and then you will see a completely different team, right? And I've already said this. It is ingrained in Madrid's history in the Champions League, right? You guys have won the most Champions Leagues, right? You've won the most leagues. But what I'm saying is this: in your entire history, in the whole history of Madrid, Madrid have done it all except one thing. You understand what I'm saying, right? That is the one missing piece in the Madrid
Dude, we're not
gallery.
even aiming for the treble. Like, I don't think any single player like really says, "Okay, we want to win the Copa del Rey this season." I don't think anyone's saying that.
I mean, Jacob, the point is this: like, I think eventually what it comes down to this is that if we look at it from a very objective point of view, is that okay? Omar is a Barcelona fan. They have won the treble. They have felt this. We're Real Madrid fans. We have done the three-peat. You understand?
Yeah.
Man City fans have done the treble. So, like, eventually, everyone will hold theirs as dearest to them, right?
And also,
Because,
I'm glad you said that,
like, oh, like the
Farouk.
treble is
I'm
better. Like,
glad
bro,
you said
I won
that.
the three-peat, not the treble.
No. So let me say this, Farouk.
That's true.
I don't know what it's like to win the Champions League 3 times. If I see Barcelona do the Champions League 3 times, maybe I would then look at it and say, "Yep, this is insane." And listen, even if I'm not a Barca fan, I know how insane that is. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, true.
But I will say this to you. I'm saying this to you because you guys don't know what it's like to win the treble. I do. Just like you guys know how to
True.
how the TP feels. I'm telling you, bro, when you win the treble, bro, that gives something to you mentally in your brain, right? It does something to you because basically you already know you're the best. But now, anyone who tries to debate you, you just tell them, listen, what trophy did we walk in where we didn't walk out as winners? You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes what haters of Madrid will usually do, because listen, I hate Madrid, but I'm not a Madrid hater. I'm not gonna sit here and dunk on your achievements. Because you know a lot of Barca fans do this. They will say, "Oh yeah, but they won the treble. Guess what? How many league titles did they win in that time? How many league titles did Ronaldo win in his career?" I don't do that. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because I'm not that shameless. You understand what I'm saying, right? I'm not that shameless where I'm gonna sit there and just ignore the fact that doing the 3 Champions League is not just as crazy as winning the league as much as we did. You understand? It's just as crazy because at the end of the day, if we're so dominant in the league, why didn't we win more Champions Leagues? I would have wanted us to win the Champions League more.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
The
I
thing
wanted
is,
us to win more
I don't
Champions
know if
Leagues.
us
Yeah.
Madrid fans will ever get that feeling because for some reason we just never managed to do it in the Copa del Rey, either for a lack of desire or just the bad luck, you know.
I mean, look, but listen, at the end of the day, maybe sometime, at some point, maybe someone of the other managers who come in who want to make a name for themselves. Because I also want you to understand, bro, the fact that you guys have never won the treble, it's a motivation for any manager who arrives at Madrid.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because every manager can come in and say, we've won the league, we've won the Champions League, we've won this. If you are a manager who comes to Madrid and wins every single trophy, let's say you win 6 trophies in a year, bro, you've done something that no other manager has ever done in the history of Madrid. You've cemented yourself in Madrid history.
Yeah, man.
Because you can say,
it'll
I'm
be
the first. I'm
definitely
the
nice
first.
to win,
Yeah.
man. Like, I just want to get that feeling
And that's the
someday,
thing.
but I don't
But
think
that's
it's a
the thing. That's the
priority.
thing. I'm telling you, man, the feeling that you have right now of winning the 3P is the same feeling you're gonna get when you win the treble. I promise you. Because you're going to no. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. From a guy who's just watching, I'm telling you, because you know why I'm saying this. It's because I know
But
when
how do
we
you
win
know
the
the feeling
3P.
of winning a three-peat? You don't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just getting to it now.
Okay.
If Barcelona win the 3P, I know that's gonna do something to my ego, bro.
No, man. Okay.
I know what
Yeah,
that's.
win it and
I
then
know
we'll
what that's
talk.
going.
Win it and we'll talk.
That's the thing. And that's the thing. Listen, the reason I know winning the 3P is an achievement is because when you guys did it, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
It made me so angry, bro, to know that you guys in Europe, bro, somehow you always get it done. You understand what I'm saying? So if it makes me angry, I can imagine how it makes you Madrid fans. You understand what I'm saying? Right? At the end of the day, my point is this, right? You see Florentino Perez, the reason why the year that we did the treble in 09, right? Did you see what he did? He came into the locker room, right? When we did it, when we won the Champions League against Manchester United, right? He said, "Yo, these guys are building something ridiculous in Barcelona. This cannot continue." What did he do in the summer? He went and bought in Cristiano. He went and bought in Kaká, Benzema, Xabi Alonso, all of these players, right? You know what he did the next season, right? Because we had just won 6 trophies in a year, basically won every trophy we walked in. When we lost in the Champions League against Inter Milan, you know what he did? He said, Mourinho just beat Barcelona in the Champions League? Yeah, I'm getting him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know why? It's because he could see that this Barcelona team was going to be a danger. This team was scary. And he was like, I need to stop this team. So how am I going to stop him? Let me go and get the manager who actually beat them. You understand what I'm saying?
It's unfair to actually like minimize Mourinho to the guy who beat Barcelona.
No, bro. That is the listen. That is the bro. You Farouk, you're old enough to remember, bro, how good that Barca team was. Even if you're not biased, bro. It's not just Madrid. It's not just Madrid,
if
bro.
you want to talk about how good Barca team were, like we won the three-peat, and that's why Barcelona is in administration right now, no? Because after we won the three-peat, like, all right, we're doing the three-peat.
It's because of that. It's not because we had a complete. No. So it's not.
Why did you get into a financial mess?
Bro, it's because no. You wanna know why? You wanna know why? It's because unlike you, who have Florentino Perez, who is actually a footballing man, we had Bartomeu, who was the basketball president, who knew nothing about dealing with a football club.
This is the point. Like, the point is that you guys abandoned your philosophy.
But that's the thing. But this is the thing. But that is the point. But that's the point.
We won 3 Champions
Leagues. No. Okay, so
4 in 5 years rather.
But this is the thing, bro. This is the difference, bro. You guys have a footballing man at your club. We just had a footballing man in our club for the first time in years. Now, at the end of the day, you can blame us, the fans, for that. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because at the end of the day, it was the club, right? The people who run the club who decided, the people who vote, who decided to bring these guys in, not us, the fans. Because let me tell you something. I was singing Bartomeu out since 2016.
No, I mean, of course,
you understand what I'm saying?
Different argument. But
No.
You're trying to paint a picture whereby, like, Florentino Perez is reacting to what Barcelona did with Messi and this. But before even Messi kicked the ball for Barcelona, he already did the first Galactico era, as you mentioned before, with Figo, Zidane. So it's not like he's reacting to what Barcelona was doing.
Yeah, even if Barcelona didn't exist, like we would still be.
No, but I know what you're saying.
Had been preconceived before even Guardiola and Messi and all those guys came. So it's not a reaction to these guys. Of course, the Barcelona team was phenomenally good. I will never deny that. As a football fan, you have to pay respect. Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, 2009, 2012, one of the best teams we've ever seen in world football. That's true. Wherever you go. But the point is, painting the picture as like Florentino Perez was reacting to that, I think that's minimalizing everything.
No. And see, that's where
Perez came in after Ramon Calderon in the summer of 2009.
I know.
When he came in for the second tenure, and his first move was to bring Cristiano, which already Calderon had played background for.
Yes, he did.
Alex famously telling Cristiano, give me one more season and you go to Madrid. So it's not about the fact that, like, okay, yeah, They woke up and they saw Barcelona winning the treble, and they decided, okay, we're gonna spend 200 million to bring these players. No,
No, but see, this is where you're missing out on my point. The fact that he went out to get Mourinho is not just because of Barca. I want you to understand the difference. Because Florentino Perez is a footballing man, and you have a footballing man as a president, right? He was wise enough, right, to see that, okay, I want to build Madrid to be the best team in the world, right? So now, which team? But because if you really deep it, right, when he arrived, he was arriving at Madrid at a time when Barcelona were the best team in the world. You understand what I'm saying, right? So that was the team to beat. Now you can say, now the reason I'm using Barca as the example is because Barca were the best team in the world. If it was City or Manchester United, I would use them as the gauge. But Barca was the gauge of who was the best team in the world. You understand what I'm saying, right? It's just like now, if we had a new president who wanted to build Barca to be the best team in the world, who is he going to be looking at as the team to get to? It's Madrid, because Madrid are the best team in the world, right? Yeah, you can say City, but right now, stats and the trophies are telling us that Madrid is the best team in the world, and they have the best players in the world. So when they look, if the team that is in our league who are the best team in the world, right? We're going to be looking for We're going to be looking for the tools to basically make us beat them, because by beating Barcelona, who are the best team in the world, that's when you surpass them to be the best team in the world. You understand what I'm saying, right? When Florentino Perez arrived at Madrid in his second term in 2009, we just won the treble. So we were the best team in the world, right? So that season in 2009, 2010, his first season as the president, what's his name? Pellegrini was your manager. He had what, 90? How many points did he get? I think like 95 points or something like that. He was like 2 points behind Barcelona at the end of the season. That is not enough. Like for any other team, that is a great season, and a manager should be given a chance to do better next season. But do you know why? Despite the fact that Pellegrini, despite having 95 points, Florentino Perez still said, I'm going to go get Mourinho. It's because at the end of the day, the expectations of Madrid is different. Even though you got 95 points, you didn't win. You didn't win the trophy. That's what we wanted. He wanted Pellegrini. He wanted Pellegrini to dethrone Barcelona, because Barcelona were the best team in the world. And I want everyone to see that this team is not as good as many people think they are. Right. So when we won the league, the Champions League, we were right there, because you guys got knocked out in the Champions League round of 16 that season against Lyon. Right. So
Thank you very much, Omar. This is the point.
Okay,
Pellegrini lost his job in February. He just only was sitting on the seat till May. But that game against Lyon, once he was knocked out, his fate was sealed. Mourinho or no Mourinho, Pellegrini wasn't gonna return for the next season. And this precedent has been set. We saw with Vicente Del Bosque. He won 2 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. He finished 4th in the league. They kicked him out.
But Farouk, this is where please just give me a second. Let me just finish the point I'm trying to make, right? You may say that, and I agree with you, because I don't know. Maybe he did decide to get they already planned on getting rid of Pellegrini before the end of the season. Okay, but the fact is, Mourinho had a contract at Inter Milan. He actually went out of his way to actually go and get Mourinho specifically. You understand what I'm saying, right? The fact that he went to get Mourinho specifically is because, despite the fact that you guys on paper, this outside of the Champions League, had a good season, right? Outside the Champions, because you guys were playing the Champions League, you guys got knocked out in the round of 16 and all that, right?
Real Madrid season is only.
But also let's remember this, and you both remember this, right? But around 2010, right? From 2006, was it? From 2006 or 2005 all the way to 2010, you guys were knocked out of the round of 16 every single year. So yes, there was a curse that was there at the time, right? You guys could not go to the quarterfinals. However, league-wise, he'd done so well that to many people's eyes, they might have said, okay, he might not have done well in Europe, but he did give Barcelona a good challenge from the beginning to the end of the season. And he does deserve to get maybe another season to let's see what he can do. The fact that Florentino Perez had already made up his mind that despite what he does in the league, I'm going to get rid of him. And he said, okay, out of all the managers in the world, who am I going to go get? He went out And at the end of the day, because you all remember that Inter Milan game, right? That Inter Milan team on paper was nowhere near us. Nobody gave them a chance when they played us in the Champions League, right? Let's be real. Let's just get all the bias out of the way, right? No one was looking at that Inter Milan team thinking they were going to beat the Barca team. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
The reason they beat us, the reason they won that first leg is because of Mourinho's masterclass. Mourinho came in with a tactic, right? Right? We scored early. We were looking dominant. Guess what? The few chances that they had, they took it. And they were 3-1 up in the first leg, right? That second leg, bro, they completely stunk out the place at the Camp Nou. Completely defensive masterclass. Nothing could go through them. We eventually scored, but it was too late. You understand what I'm saying, right? The fact that around that time, right, Mourinho was able to nullify that Barca team and has good that Barca team that just won every trophy that they had just been in that season. The fact that Mourinho did that was what made Florentino Perez say, you know what? The fact that this guy was able to out-tactic Pep Guardiola and find a way to beat him, he's the right guy to basically build this Madrid team that I want to surpass Barcelona one day. That's why, at the end of the day, he went out to get Mourinho. You understand what I'm saying?
Because
it's not
he
that
won the Champions
Mourinho
League, just because of beating Barcelona.
No. He won the Champions League as well, and also I'm not gonna forget that as well. He won the treble that season. As well. So before anyone, I'm not gonna miss out on that. The fact that he knocked out Barcelona, but let's be real, that Barcelona defeat, knocking out that Barca team, the way he did it, it's not just the fact that they beat us, it's the way they did it. They beat us based on what tactics, bro. He out-tacticked Pep Guardiola. That's why he won.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying, right? He found his kryptonite. And that is a level of, that is something you don't teach. Because sometimes you can beat a team, you can find a way to beat a team, right? But it's another thing to look at a good manager and find a tactic to literally destroy everything that they're building. And that's what they did. You understand what I'm saying? So guess what? That first season when he went to Madrid, right? That was his first season, right? These were his new players. He had to find a way. He was still learning things, right? That's why in that first Clasico, he lost 5-0. Everyone was looking at him and saying, oh, he just lost 5-0 and all of this. Bro, what he did after that proved that he was learning to the game. He was looking at his team and saying, okay, this is different. El Clasico is different. You understand what I'm saying, right? El Clasico is different from Inter Milan. I actually have different players here. I need to find other players or find a tactic that would break this team down. So that first season, it was an experimental season. You understand what I'm saying? He broke the curse of the round of 16. You guys did the semifinals of the Champions League that season, and you guys got knocked out by Barca that season in the Champions League, right? In the semifinals, right? But guess what? The following season, what happened in the following season? You guys had 100 points and 121 goals. Why? Because Mourinho figured it out. He figured out how to beat that Barca team. He figured it out, right? And at the end of the day, in 2012, I say this all the time, right? Messi was the best player in the world, and he scored 91 goals that season in 2012. Insane.
Mhm.
But when people ask me who the best team in Europe is, the biased part of me will always say Barca. But if I'm going to be real, it was Madrid. It was Real Madrid. Because Madrid, on paper, stats will tell you that these guys, bro, were scary. Bro, you guys were scoring like 5-6 goals. Like, you know how we're scoring 5-6 goals every game?
And but let me tell you, like,
Bro,
people who weren't watching Madrid that closely, maybe 10, 20 years down the line, nobody would remember that team.
that's the saddest thing.
Yeah.
I think that the reason I remember it so well is because I'm a Barca fan and I'm a La Liga fan. So I remember it as much as many people, others do. And listen, this is why I agree with your point when it comes to Europe. You understand what I'm saying, right? I agree that when you win in Europe, it cements you as the best,
Absolutely.
right? But this is why I'm always saying, at the end of the day that Madrid, because Madrid have already done everything in football. That's the one thing you guys haven't done yet.
Sure, man.
Now you can say, so Jacob,
Uh,
you can say, as a fan, you can say, because I want you to understand, the difference is, a fan might say, we don't need a treble. But what if Florentino Perez's ego is saying, I want to win the treble?
Yeah, man. Like I understand. It'll be. I would like to like close this out, right? It would be nice to win a treble. Like you said, it'll be a good feeling for sure. You're not saying that, and we're probably gonna have to disagree, agree to disagree about our priorities for the treble and compared to the Champions League and whatnot. But yeah, man, like let's slowly wrap this up. And thank you for all of you guys here in the comments. I know you guys had a couple of bad apples to deal with, and I just want to request this, right?
Yeah, I'm just
whatever-
getting. Yeah, I was just getting cooked, man, in the comments, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I just want to say that. So whatever happens in the end of the game, don't like go over and harass this guy. He's been good to us. He's been nice to us. So yeah, go sub to his channel.
Fans are gonna be
He's a
fans,
good one.
bro. Fans are gonna be fans, bro. We all know, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Like I'm looking forward to this game. It's the first El Clasico that I've been excited after a long time. I'm sure we're gonna see a really good match, and all things are gonna go well. And so this is a home game again, and we're gonna have fan cams from out of the Bernabeu. So stay tuned for that. And last but not the least, big shout out to our partners, our Red Real Madrid committee. Their Instagram is down in the description below. Go check them out as well. You know what to say. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.
You're not gonna say anything? Not even Mr. Basra? Come on.
Visca Basa. There we go.
There we go.